Hello, all you beautiful people in Webtown. Testosterone overload here, ready for another exciting action-packed night of drawing blood. We have assembled a bevy of talented comic book artists to draw tonight's topic, which is legendary tag teams. That's right. Each of these men have picked a different tag team throughout the history of professional wrestling to draw for your pleasure. And I'm going to make them all introduce themselves tonight, starting with your friendly neighborhood ninja.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people all over the world. I'll be drawing the Road Warriors for you this evening. The most legendary, iconic tag team of all time.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's disputable, debatable. We'll have that debate as you.
It's a real rush, I'll tell you.
Up
What a
next,
rush it is.
we'll find out who he's drawing at the Tech Corner.
How's it going, fellas?
Don't be afraid to plug any other things you're working on for the beautiful people.
Okay, well, that's the case. Give me a second. As I pull it up because I didn't think about advertising it, and I will be trying to get it started in February. So right now it's called Shattered Crown, Tales of the Seven, and I should be getting it out sometime between. Well, I'll be starting the Indiegogo somewhere between February and the next month after.
Wonderful.
All
Up
right.
next, the producer of this show, P.S. Melter.
All right, now I'll be drawing the Dudley Boys on a team that actually challenges the Road Warriors on being "quote unquote" the best tag team of all time.
Yes, they have held tag titles everywhere. I think they're the most decorated tag team of all time. Possibly, I think that might be debatable, depending on the legitimacy of the NWA World Tag Team titles and the legitimacy of the TNA World Tag Team titles in the 21st century. The Road Warriors are the only tag team to hold the AWA, NWA, and WWF World Tag Team titles. But anyways, up next, a man who is definitely out to win it this evening. He is Jiminy Cricket.
Hey, I will be drawing The Rock and Mankind because according to Google, they're up there in terms of wrestling tag teams. So
yes, the Rock and Sock connection.
Yes, Rock and Sock connection, and Google's never wrong. So I'm going to go with what Google told me to draw.
Up next, here to provide color commentary is the General John N. Wallace.
Hello, beautiful people. Aloha. God bless you. God be with you.
Right next to him, a man known as Dreaded Dinosaur, who is actually drawing a wrestling comic right now.
Yes, it's me, Eric. I do the wrestling artwork that most people are familiar with here. And I'm doing the Roddy Piper Kilted Avenger book, due out hopefully near the end of this year. And I'm going to be drawing the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, the Hart Foundation.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. Quickly making me want to vote for you. Next to him is the iconic, the indelible, the voice of fan speak. It is Chester Busby III.
Well, hello, everybody. Nice to see you. And I do have to say I'm slightly disappointed. No Rockers, no British Bulldogs, and what? No Steiners? Huh? Those are the greatest tag teams. I don't know what you people are thinking. But nevertheless, hello, Chad. Glad to be here.
Oh, we got an invitation.
We do. We have someone new. I want to mention to all the beautiful people out there that Chester is actually in the home of New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, Noah Pro Wrestling, Michinoku Pro Wrestling. I could keep going. I could name a lot of Japanese promotions, but that is where Chester is. So if anybody messes around here, he's gonna get the Great Muta to spray him in the face with the green mist.
Oh, yeah. I know him personally. He lives 2 doors down. Don't mess with me.
Now, also joining us, a latecomer, but an exciting comer, I guess.
Oh,
That makes sense.
phrasing.
How does that make sense?
It is my main man in Malaysia, the mighty mighty Mior.
Yes, I am. Hello, people. I'm happy to be here. Sorry I'm late. I was burying a dead cat.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
No, it's not mine.
Is that a pet that died, or was that just something you ate tonight?
The cat. Oh, God.
Leftovers for dinner.
Just
Have you been hanging out with Nasser?
I found dead next to my house.
Oh, that's very sad.
Yes. I walked out and I was like, what the hell?
Does
Well, what do
Nasser
you
live in
mean
the area?
they were filming Pet Cemetery in his neighborhood?
Now, Mior, tonight's topic is legendary tag teams, which means you are going to have to pick a legendary professional wrestling tag team. Other choices have been made, and we cannot have a duplicate. So this is all on you. If it was up to me, I would suggest Demolition.
British Bulldogs. British Bulldogs.
I don't know
Demolition
who.
has face paint. It's a lot like drawing a superhero team. Super
That
villains
is true.
more.
That is true.
Oh,
I'll show you a picture. Let me get on it. Keep talking, Chester, while I look.
I shall. Now you have to go
hey,
with
I
that.
chat.
And another really colorful group you could go with. It certainly looks superhero-ish. Would be the Rockers, and of course we know who was produced out of that. Let's see who else would be a very colorful tag team. What about the Samoan boys there? They always would do all face painted up.
Usos, you mean?
Yeah, the Usos. That's a really
What
good.
about Hall and Nash, though? The
Well,
outsiders.
Were they colorful enough, you think?
Let me show
The
you.
red
Mior
black.
here. So this is who I would recommend, Mior. This is Axe and Smash. Demolition. In the middle is Crush. But the main tag team was Axe and Smash, and then they brought in Young Crush to kind of be their third partner later on after they'd already been WWF World Tag Team Champions a couple times.
True. Although they are very Road Warrior-like, though, man.
They are very Road Warrior-like. They are. A lot of people would say they were a ripoff of the Road Warriors.
Oh,
Weren't they in the same?
I might just do this, guys. Sure. Oh, well,
They were in the same era.
Weren't
They had
in
some heat back and forth,
Weren't
too.
they both in the WWF though?
Yeah.
They were. I think that the Legion of Doom. They were. Well, Road Warriors were called Legion of Doom in WWF, and I think the Legion of Doom won their tag titles from Demolition. But Demolition was created, to kind of fill the gap in WWF that the Road Warriors would have filled as like the tough biker motorcycle gang sort of post-apocalyptic, nightmare.
What about Goldust and his brother Cody?
Oh, Goldust and yes. What were they called? Were they
Stardust.
called Shattered Dreams? What were they called?
Shattered Dreams.
Stardust and Goldust.
Yeah.
Ha.
Oh, you got to see this. We got to find one with them with the masks on too, because that was.
They had a great entrance theme too. I
They used to
loved
wear
their
these
entrance theme.
masks too.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
shit.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
shit. That's.
Yeah, so they were pretty scary looking.
It's very BDSM like.
They look like they walked out of a BMS movie, man.
Yeah, I mean, with the mask on, they look scary. Without it on, they look homosexual.
You were probably not wrong. That's
Well,
And then there's
Demolition was
Goldust and
WWE's
Stardust.
answer to the Road Warriors at the time. They wanted to have, two big guys and, in face paint and warrior-like gear. And so, that's how Demolition came about. Both of those guys were doing single runs before that, but not really going anywhere, I mean, Smash was, essentially the repo man,
Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you the thing about Goldust and Stardust, though. They were actually surprising a really good tag team, man. Those
Yes,
guys
yes.
moved beautifully together.
Well, when you follow the American dream, how can you not be?
That's right. Get live in public. That
You
is
are-
going to
you
the
are
pay
most
window
correct,
tonight.
sir.
And you're trying to go to the pay window here on the mothership. That thought the wrong over.
How you guys doing tonight, anyway?
Good.
Pretty good.
Great, man.
Oh,
How are
Niobe's
you?
joined us now. Niobe has a comic book called Niobe. His name isn't even Niobe. We just call him
No,
Niobe. It's actually the name of the chick in his comic.
Yeah.
I got a chick in the comic.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
I'm
now
at work, and we got like a bunch of people staying here from my work because we're stormed in. So at any point in time, my coworkers could just wander in the office.
Is it a bad thing?
Well, no, one guy's cool. A couple of the housekeepers, might not understand what's going on, but.
Well, these guys are just going to be drawing some legendary tag teams tonight, Niobe. I know that you are also, much like Chester, much like John Wallace, much like myself, big fans of professional wrestling and its glory days.
Oh, yes. And even now, I'm still a fan. I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of programming anymore, but I keep up with it. I read about it, but I'm all excited about all elite wrestling. I think that's where the future is going.
Oop, somebody disconnected.
Yeah.
No, it's me. I forgot to connect my pen.
Just keep in mind, Niobe, if any of your coworkers have any questions, we just refer them over here to General John Wallace, and he'll take care of them.
No, if they walk, and I'll just mute myself.
Yeah, I'll take care of all questions.
Hopefully I'll be able to go home tomorrow. I had to spend the night here last night. It sucked.
Oof.
That is terrible. Life as a Canadian, I would think you guys are used to that by now.
Well, we'll get at least one or two good storms a year. It's not like a daily occurrence or anything. It's winter,
It's weather.
It's weather, exactly.
Now I see that gutless coward Manny from Good Dog Press has showed up in the chat.
Uh-oh. Jade Throne.
He won the premiere episode of Drawing Blood, and he has been very cowardly ever since then. I know that he is afraid of the winner of the second installment of Drawing Blood, which is your friendly neighborhood ninja. He's saying that Ninja won a team by doing the Road Warriors. It's just men in makeup.
Oh, is there time up?
Oh, he says he was going to draw the Blade Runners. Does Chester and asks if Chester remembers the Blade Runners?
Do I remember the Blade Runners from? Was that? It wasn't WWF. What was that?
No,
well, the Blade Runners were a territorial team. It was like the start of Steve Borden and Jim Hellwig, aka Sting and the Ultimate Warrior. It's how they got their initial push. They worked for, I believe, Memphis Wrestling for a while and kind of made the jump here and there until they, eventually broke up and went their separate ways.
Dude, you've got information, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's information right there.
Because I remember them, but I knew they weren't WWF though. Really good, dude. Yeah, I see seeing the pictures over here now. Oh yeah, dude. So why aren't you?
Is there a time limit for this?
We usually go 2 hours.
Okay.
But we allow for some color here. How many? Let's see. I have to think about this for a second. I think we have to have 3 colors available tonight.
3?
Ooh. 3 colors. You can use up to 3 colors.
Okay.
You don't have to use 3. You can use 1. You can use none. That's up to you.
Midnight Express is mentioned by Javio. Yeah, dude.
So Steve Borden and Jim Hellwig originally teamed as part of Power Team USA, a group of 4 wrestlers who debuted in 1985 after being trained by Rick Bassman and Red Bastien. Red Bastien, that is an excellent trainer right there. Initially, they wrestled as the Freedom Fighters. Hellwig was known as Justice, and Borden was called Flash in Memphis Continental Wrestling Association.
So Flash Gordon?
No. And then they became the Blade Runners in Mid-South when it was operated by Bill Watts. Let's see, managed by Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert as part of Hot Stuff International Incorporated. What were their names? They were Blade Runner Rock, and Blade Runner Sting. Yes. Obviously, Blade Runner Rock, he went on to become the Dingo Warrior.
Yeah.
In the Von Erichs promotion in Dallas. And then got called up to the WWF and became the Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior. That was awesome, dude.
I did not remember this. They reunited although not officially under the Blade Runner's name, for one match on WCW Monday Nitro, October 12th, 1998. Ultimate Warrior and Sting took on Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh man, I need to go back onto the network and watch that match.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Am I wrong?
Yeah,
But
I remember when Warrior made his debut on WCW, and it was like a 15 to 17 minute promo. And of course, in usual Warrior style, he was talking in in his usual way, where it's very hard to follow what he's saying. And of course, Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff are sitting there looking at him like, is this guy for real? And Eric has been known to go on podcasts and talk about that moment. How they brought in the Warrior and how it was pretty much a flop.
Javio in the chat says that he thinks that there was a damn good tag team in the mid to late 80s called the Midnight Express.
yeah, well,
Wait, which version of the Midnight Express?
wasn't one of the Midnight Express? Wasn't that Randy Orton's dad?
No, that was Bob Orton, Ace, the Cowboy Bob Orton, the bodyguard to Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
All
God, always
Orton
had the
at WrestleMania
WrestleMania
1.
20 years. Cowboy Bob Orton. So I might have missed part of the show. Did you guys go over who your all-time favorites were? Like your favorite tag team?
No, we just started just 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
The Midnight Express was actually a couple of tag teams. It was 3 tag teams. Originally under Jim Cornette, it was Dennis Condrey and Norvell Austin. And then later, Norvell Austin was replaced by Randy Rose.
Oh,
and then in
there
the
you
late
go.
80s,
Yeah.
it was Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane.
Yeah.
And I think that they were they managed by Paul Ellering or not Paul Ellering, but Paul Heyman? Or is it that Paul Heyman brought back the old Midnight Express to feud with the new Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express? Oh my gosh, there's just so many of them.
I mean, we all know the best incarnation of that group was one under Jim Cornette.
Oh, absolutely.
Or did you guys like the Fantastics better, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers?
Oh, Jim Cornette's era, that was better.
Okay.
And I know nothing. So like you're just like, okay.
Now, there's some really knowledgeable people in here, dude. Actually, it's really cool. So let me ask a question. As I remember, Junkyard Dog was in some kind of tag team, but I don't remember what it was. And it was probably temporary, I would assume, but I remember him tag teaming. Anybody?
Well, are you talking in WWE or like in the territorial days?
Yeah, well, way back.
Yeah, I do remember him being a shortly attacked. It was a Caucasian guy, I want to say. I forget who exactly it
I
was.
missed who the wrestler was. Who was the wrestler, Chester?
Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog, yeah.
Junkyard Dog. And I haven't heard that name in a while.
Oh, man.
JYD.
Yeah, I don't remember JYD being in a tag team of note. Was this this must have been like in Mid-South, maybe?
I'm pretty sure it was one of the smaller stuff. It wasn't later. It was before he became big on WWF.
Yeah, that sounds like something we'll have to Google up.
Yeah, I'm working on it now. I just seem to have it in my head, man. Let me check it.
Off to Google.
No, I'm not really seeing.
Well, back in his earlier days, in the territorial days, Junkyard Dog was a big star. He was the man.
He was a heel up in Stampede, which is kind of where he really paid his dues and learned the business from the Harts. And then he went down to Bill Watts promotion and became a big star down there.
It's amazing how many people came up through Stampede, including guys like Andre the Giant and Honky Tonk Man and Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, no, he was doing tag
Mr. Olympia for a while in Bill Watts Mid-South promotion.
Midwest.
Mid-South.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Mid-South. Yeah, sorry, I apologize. Wow, that is a long time ago. I'm surprised I remember that.
We got a. No, I'm looking. I see that Terry Funk is in the chat.
My arm!
He's saying Junkyard and Jimmy Valiant were a great team.
Sweet. There you go. Knowledge, man. Awesome.
Let's just take a look and see what's going on here. Let's start with your friendly neighborhood ninja. Oh, look at this. Okay. Okay, I think he's going to draw him with the spike shoulder pads on. That sure looks like it.
So are all you guys going to be drawing the Warriors? Like the Road
No,
Warriors?
everybody gets a different one.
Oh, everyone's got a different team.
Yeah, we do it totally different than drawn and quartered. Sometimes, like sometimes. It all depends on the topic. But I figured for tag teams, it's just, pick your favorite tag team.
Or pick a tag team you can. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to draw, but I'll just tell you my favorite tag team. I think ultimately is going to, and you mentioned them before, the Harts, the Hart Foundation, Canadian Zone, Canada Zone, Calgary, Alberta. And I'm talking, the original Hart Foundation. You're like, Jim the Anvil and back when they were heels,
Yeah, I always loved the Hart Foundation as a kid. I was a huge Bret Hart fan when he went singles competition too, and I really enjoyed the height of the Attitude Era when the whole Hart Foundation had all the belts and stuff.
Oh yeah, and they were, it was the Canada versus U.S. war, and they would come down south and they'd be the heels, but come up north and they were the baby faces. Oh, that was great.
Yeah, I really loved the professional wrestling of the 1980s in WWF. I couldn't help but like the Rougeau brothers also.
Yeah, the Rougeaus. Well, they certainly had a lot of fun with Dynamite Kid, so I hear anyway.
They did. Yeah, they did.
And we all probably heard the rumor about the roll of quarters that Dynamite took to the face from Jacques Rougeau at the advice of his father.
Yeah, I think, from the sound of it, Dynamite had it coming. It sounds like he was a pretty salty little bully.
Well, he was a bit of a bully. He was a little guy with a big man complex. That was the way it was back then. He ran with the Harts, and, they were a hardy bunch. They always had each other's backs.
Man, I can smell what Jiminy Cricket's drawn.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully it'll smell better as the night goes on.
You're quick.
Yeah, trying to get quicker so I can actually finish drawing quarter one of these days.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Was I one of those? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember if I did or not.
I'm the tortoise who will eventually win the race.
Slow but steady, my friend.
Good pieces, dude. That's for sure.
And I look so goofy.
See, Tech Corner is chosen to draw the Bella twins. It looks like that's an interesting choice. I can't wait to see it. Beautiful women. Nothing wrong with beautiful women. I think it sure beats drawing, Mae Young and Moolah.
Oh, I should have done that. I should have just drawn Bubba putting Mae Young through a table.
Oh yeah.
That was unkind imagery.
Yeah, we didn't need to see that, hear that.
Let me tell you something. Those old ladies are nice ladies. I've met them before. They're tough as nails. They can actually kick some guy's ass.
Well, unfortunately, guys, I got to jump out.
Hey.
I would have loved to stay and talk wrestling. That's a lot of
Chester,
fun.
tell us who your favorite tag team is before you leave.
Oh, for me, I was the British Bulldogs, dude.
Oh, very, very good choice.
I love them.
Excellent choice. I wish they would have lasted longer.
I think I was the perfect age for them,
Okay, well, enjoy the night at work.
I shall.
Or I guess the day at work.
Yeah, the day, yeah.
Okay, have a good morning.
Chester, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, no, thanks, guys, and good luck to all of you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Later.
Chester.
You take care.
Bye, man.
Later, Chester.
Bye, guys.
What?
Later.
Aloha.
Going shitty today. For whatever reason.
T.O., you got to watch your chat.
Yep.
I'm getting there.
I need the link to the stream because that way
GOP
I can-
Gamer, I want to tell you that Reverend John Wallace is not drawing anything. He's just here enjoying himself. And Booster Kiwi is in the chat, and he wants to say, get ready to rumble. He thinks that's the phrase. That's also the name of a really, really crappy movie, Booster, that starred Oliver Platt and David Arquette.
I actually liked that movie because it was so bad.
Ready to rumble? Yeah.
If you are watching this installment of Drawing Blood Live, please click the thumbs up. It only takes you 3 seconds to do, and it encourages artists to come back. And it encourages me to keep doing this. You know, GOP Gamer, if you want to come in and draw something, you can come in and draw something. You know, there is a request from GOP Gamer for General John Wallace to draw something, but John might be at work right now, too.
Well, first off, GOP needs to stop picking on people. Like I asked you before.
Do you
And
feel
trust me, if I could draw, I would be. GOP has been coming in my neck for the past couple of days. I don't know why, man. I don't got no problem with that boy.
Who's drawing the female? I gotta see this.
Oh, let
The
me,
heck? I'm liking the looks of this.
yeah, look at that. This is the Bella twins.
There we go. This is what I'm talking about.
The one is married to Daniel Bryan. The other one is available. John Cena didn't want her,
John
apparently.
Cena's a fool.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I wouldn't kick Bella out of bed for eating crackers, man.
I don't think it was. I think that it was probably something more than that.
Well, no, I'm sure she's pretty high maintenance and hard on the head, but, you know, sacrifices must be made.
Oh, this is going to be a solid Hart Foundation from the dreaded dinosaur, the man behind the Roddy Piper Kilted Avenger comic book.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
How's that book doing? That's been up for a while, right?
We didn't meet our goal, so.
Oh, that's too bad, man.
Yeah, we did flexible funding, so we stuck with what we got, and
okay,
that's the way it went.
Now, how does that work with, like, you know, Piper's family and stuff? Did they sign off on that, or did you?
Oh yeah, no, everything is up and up and fully licensed. The licensing was handled through Pro Wrestling Tees.
Oh, nice.
And I have seen Kitty give it a plug a time or two also.
Yep,
online.
She was great. We had a plug from DDP once.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
We had a bunch of wrestlers on our video doing plugs for it. It's a complete mystery to me why we didn't meet our goal.
Another one of those guys that spent a little time up north here. I mean, the rumor is that him and Bret Hart are cousins. I don't know if that's actually true. But that's what they kept saying, you know.
Yeah, that is that Roddy insists on that. The Harts are you know, Roddy knew all of that stuff. And the Harts didn't know it. You know, they heard it from Roddy.
Yeah, right.
And let's see here. So Terry Funk also says that the Skyscrapers, Mean Mark Callis and Dan Spivey, were a great tag team. Mean Mark Callis went on to become the Undertaker.
Sure did.
He also gives some props to Meng and the Barbarian, who he believes would crush the Hart Foundation.
Well, Ming is notoriously one of the toughest guys outside of the ring. You know, if you're in a bar fight and Ming's standing across from you, you probably want to run.
Yeah, Ming. I wouldn't want to ever fight any Samoan or Tongan, to be honest. If Good Dog Press was in here, he could probably enlighten us more. He probably got picked on growing up in Hawaii by a Tongan or a Samoan at some point.
Everybody knows that Ming, also known as what's his bad luck, not bad luck father, Tonga and Tonga Lau's father. Everybody knows he's legit a badass. You don't mess with Ming.
Terry Funk also says that Ravishing Rick Rude and the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, were totally awesome. No, I don't think Terry Funk has ever used the word awesome.
Fuck you,
Why are you making that Hank Hill voice?
That's the voice of one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. If you don't know who Terry Funk is, You're an egg-sucking dog, just like Dusty Rhodes.
Something ain't right with that boy.
Damn it, Peggy. I told you not to tell people about my narrow urethra.
I tell you, man, you get these dang all of our wrestling fans are drawn in here, man. I tell you,
Funny.
a whole bunch of stuff coming up in here.
The Uncanny Kodiak plugs the Steiners in the chat also, and who can blame him? Let's just take a look and see how everybody's progressing here. Your friendly neighborhood ninja is going to town on the Road Warriors.
Go to town.
Of course, if he makes the shoulder pad
bring the
red,
heat,
then
brother.
it turns out they're the Legion of Doom. I'm really curious to see how it goes here. Oh, look.
See, now if I would have known,
the bodies of the
could have done
fellas.
Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack.
Oh, my gosh. I would have popped for that.
What about Cactus Jack and Michael Whipwreck?
Yeah, I would have popped for that, too. I'd pop for just
You
about
know-
anything Mick Foley did.
You know what that means, Mikey? Yeah, that means I'm gonna die. See, he likes it. Mikey really likes it.
Melter, you need to turn on another light in your house. It'll help your camera out a lot.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah. Look at that. No,
And there-
maybe that's no. Okay, well, we'll come back to him. What do you say? Oh yes, here we go. Gold Dust and Stardust in full effect. Mior's going to do something special here tonight in his unique style.
I'm going to do something lazy.
Mior, I'm trying to put you over here, brother.
He's trying to lower expectations so he comes out in the win at the end.
Oh shit.
Jiminy Cricket has really hedged the bets with The Rock. You know, that's always going to get some votes.
Fuck,
Yeah,
I
they-
was, right when I
I had to
woke
go with someone
up.
who actually recognized, because I'm not much of a wrestling fan, unfortunately.
Hey, you got The Rock down. When I woke up today, I turned on the TV, and the movie that was on TV was Walking Tall, 2004, starring
yeah.
The Rock. You
Yeah,
know,
really. Yeah,
My mom likes that movie, actually.
that was a decent remake. I was surprised.
yeah, no, so I was like, watched that again for the first time in a few years, and then, you know,
Hmm.
rolled on out a bit.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to bring him in for the Shazam movie or not. I don't know. They're just
I don't
keeping it
think
silent.
so. They got that big, goofy-looking white dude.
Oh, Mark Strong, Sinestro, as Dr. Savannah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Mark
um,
Strong. He is one of the greatest character actors.
Yeah,
so
he's very
underrated.
cool. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know why he's always like sort of like a co-star, because I think he's good enough to actually star in his own movies.
Yeah.
You know, he's always doing like backup. I'm sorry?
I would love to see him in the Sinestro movie because he plays Sinestro so damn good.
Yeah, I know.
Mark
He's
Strong?
fantastic.
He was the highlight of that Green Lantern movie.
Yep.
And then they fucked
Yeah.
it up. And I'm like, ah.
Yes, he did.
I'm like, if they would have done more like a cop thing in outer space, that probably would have actually worked better.
Yep.
Instead, they try to immediately rush to
Or what they call it, the War of Light or something. You know, the one with all the. Because I think it was alluded to in the credits. You know, with all the different colors kind of swirling around.
Right.
right.
I want to tell the Uncanny Kodiak in the chat that the Rock and Sock connection is what Jiminy Cricket is drawing.
Yeah.
We're not going to get the Nasty Boys or Degeneration X tonight, though.
The sock is coming. So.
I was going to do another tag team, but someone I thought was going to be here kind of picked it, but they didn't come, so I just stuck with the Dudleys. I was going to do the APA instead because they were a great tag team.
Yes, I agree. They were a great tag team. I love the Acolytes.
They didn't have to do
Bradshaw. I
They
see
didn't have to do
Bradshaw
anything but-
practically every day on Fox Business in the mornings.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're coming up through the WWE, you had to go through boot camp, and that usually meant facing the Acolytes in a very stiff match. you know,
Wow. Wow.
when the Dudleys first came in, they went up against the APA, and Dudleys, like, I remember them trying to be rough with us and said, you know what, we came from ECW, we knew what that was all about, so we just gave it back, and that's what earned their respect.
Wow.
Except for Public Enemy, they got the short end.
Public Enemy got trashed.
They killed them.
Yeah, I felt bad for Public Enemy.
I'm just realizing I'm not very good with regular people.
Oh wait, it's glove section. Cool.
Your friendly neighborhood ninja progressing quite rapidly on the Road Warriors.
That's
the tech
right.
corner is breezing through the Bella Twins. Pia Smelter, what are you doing again? The Dudleys?
I'm drawing the Dudleys putting up a flaming table, power bombing Spike through the flaming table, and I got Sign Guy. I got Sign Guy down here. You suck.
Where's Big Dick Dudley?
Well, I would put him in there, but I think it's going to take me long enough just to draw 4 people.
Where's no dances with Dudleys?
Well, by the time Devon came in, he killed all the Dudleys just about, didn't he? He killed about every one of them except for Big Dick.
Yep. At least you got Sign Guy. He's the silence behind the violence.
Did you guys hear about the whole truth about the original upbringing of Sign Guy? It was hilarious. Raven claimed that he invented the Dudleys. So there was a fan in the stands who was calling himself Sign Guy Dudley.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Steven Richards saw him at the gym and was about to talk to him, and apparently that guy, the fan, thought he was in the business. So he was like, no, kayfabe, I can't talk to you. So I went over to Raven. Raven was like, I got an idea. So they created a Sign Guy Dudley, and after weeks, they would have a problem with the dude that was a fan. He'd have a sign saying, I'm the original. Then the other one that's the paid wrestler, manager with the sign says, no, I'm the original Sign Guy Dudley. And they kept going back and forth till they rolled out a big ass carpet one day to trump the fan and shut him up.
Cool.
So wait a minute. It was Devon and Bubba. It was Spike. It was Big Dick, and it was Sign Guy. That was the only ones.
There was like 100
there's a ton of them. I'll have to let me look it up here. I can tell you about it. There was Dudley. That's so many of them.
You know who I missed though? They never really got a chance in WWE. He was there for like a couple hours before they fired him. Fucking New Jack.
Yeah.
And New Jack was a legit badass
for WWE.
Yeah. New Jack had a problem with the Dudleys, though. Once they went to WWE, the Dudleys were known in ECW with tie-dye. They came over to WWF. They did it for a little bit. Vince hated the tie-dye and told them to go camo. New Jack wore camo. So he was pissed off at Dudleys for ripping his gimmick, which wasn't their fault.
I'm just gonna tell you all a little bit about some of these people. Let me just start with the Road Warriors. Just for those of you, what makes them a great tag team? Well, we can tell you. They are All Japan Pro Wrestling NWA International Tag Team Champions one time. They were one-time AWA World Tag Team Champions out of Vern Gagne's promotion, the American Wrestling Association, headquartered in Minnesota. They were Fighting World of Japan Pro Wrestling World Japan Tag Team Champions once. They were the NWA National Tag Team Champions on 4 occasions in Georgia Championship Wrestling. They were, believe it or not, they were NWA World 6-Man Tag Team Champions 3 times twice with Dusty Rhodes, and once with Genichiro Tenryu. They were also NWA World Tag Team Champions once at Jim Crockett Promotions, a.k.a. World Championship Wrestling, a.k.a. Mid-Atlantic. And they were the winners of the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup in 1986. They were WWF Tag Team Champions 2 times. And then it was Animal, I believe, who teamed with Tenryu in New Japan and held the IWGP Tag Team titles twice.
That's the only unfortunate thing, that the original Road Warriors could not tag team together, because the Road Warriors also held, well, Animal held it with Heidenreich like once or twice in WWF.
Yeah, was that LOD 2005? I can't remember.
It was the one. Yeah, it was the one with Heidenreich, the guy who it looked like he raped Michael Cole in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, Michael Cole against the wall. He was scared to death. It almost looked like a jailhouse scene for my eyes.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up, man.
The Road Warriors were also Pro Wrestling Illustrated Tag Team of the Year in 1983, 1984, 1985, and 1988, and were ranked number 1 of the 100 best tag teams of the PWI years in 2003. They have been inducted into the Quebec Wrestling Hall of Fame. I don't know why. I shouldn't. It makes no sense. It's just like some little indie promotion that wants to bring themselves some notoriety, so they induct a tag team that never even wrestled for them. But in all seriousness, they were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2011. They were inducted into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2011. They were inducted into the NWA Hall of Fame in 2012. That's pretty good. I don't think that they will make it into the National George Thez Lou Tragos Lou Thez George Tragos Hall of Fame, because they're not that type of a wrestler. But that's quite a bit of accomplishments. Now, the Bella Twins, I can tell you a little bit about also. If you guys don't mind, I'm happy to talk about these ladies.
Feel free, please.
Now, they never held tag team titles.
Tell us more.
Brie Bella held the WWE Divas Championship, and Nikki Bella held the Divas Championship twice. They are 3-time Slammy Award winners. And, interestingly enough, they won Choice Female Athlete at the Teen Choice Awards. Okay.
They're athletes?
I think they're divas. They're not what I would call wrestlers. They're divas.
Oh well.
No, it's okay. Yeah, they're easy on the eyes. That's for sure. Dave Meltzer, which is P.S. Meltzer's uncle, Dave Meltzer. He has the Wrestling Observer newsletter. He's the top one of the 2 most well-known wrestling journalists of all time, and he actually nominated them for Worst Feud of the Year in 2014, and they also won Worst Feud of the Year in 2015, and they also won Worst Worked Match of the Year in 2013. And thankfully, WWE doesn't have divas anymore. They just have wrestlers, which is good. Now, the Rock and Sock Connection, on the other hand, they held the WWF Tag Team titles 3 times together. Very popular team. Very popular.
How do they determine who gets the championship anyway in wrestling? Because I know it's all.
Well, they get in a ring and they wrestle for it, Mior.
No,
and whoever's the better man or woman on that occasion ends up winning.
Don't
make me come to Malaysia, Mior, and show you that wrestling's real.
I think what they do is that they kind of make those it's a branching storyline. So if this people win, they go this direction with their feud. If that people win, they go in that direction with their feud. I think that's how it works.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's how it works. It's basically like okay, well, if they win, this is what we do with their feud. If these other people win, this is what we do as the feud instead.
Here's another good one because you just said that's true. But when you have people like the Hollywood Blondes, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin and Brian Pillman, they were great. They had storylines, but they never got really the belts because they were looked upon as, well, you're only going to go so far. You have tier talents. You got the main event. You've got the guys below the main event, the undercard or whatever. And then you got the guys that are just there to make sure everyone else looks better. And that's what happens sometimes. That's why some people, like, for example, another great tag team I liked that got screwed over really bad was the Ascension. Great gimmick. They went from a little small NXT, what they were training them to for a whole year, to be like the next badass tag team. Put them over in WWE Raw. Then they made them look like the Road Warriors and made them act like the Road Warriors. People shit on them, and then they haven't won a match probably in the last, I don't know, 3 years. Yeah. So, that's what happens sometimes.
So, I will say that there's only 2 reasons a person wins a belt. Having been involved in the wrestling business for 13 years, I can tell you that there are 2 reasons a person wins a belt. It's 1, because the company thinks they can make money with that person as the champion, or it's 2, because that wrestler needs a belt to get over, which is a way of saying that they need a belt to become more popular with the fans because they don't have the skills necessary either in the ring or on the mic to become popular on their own. Which, is why you see guys like a Paul Orndorff or a Roddy Piper who never needed a belt to get over. They knew how to get over with the fans without that.
Yeah, because they're just that good.
Yeah, whereas like Hulk Hogan would be a guy we know we can draw money if Hulk's the champion. He's not a guy that needed the belt to, to become more popular. He was the guy that, could sell tickets because that's ultimately what matters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy too, but also you've seen situations where they put a belt on a guy and it failed miserably.
Well, sure, yeah, but that's that's part of the thing is can we get a belt on this guy and get him over with it? And some people just they can't carry water.
Like, me personally, if I was running shit, Perry Saturn would have been champion a couple of times. He had skill, but he could not talk on the mic. And I think that was
Perry's best thing was in ECW as part of the Eliminators with John Kronos.
True. Yeah, skill. I mean, he could have been a singles champion, but his mic skill sucked. But his ring work was perfect.
When he was in WWF and they gave him the mop gimmick, that was the best he had.
That was really funny.
It was funny, but I hated that. I hated that.
Really, just get him somebody to act to do the mic work for him, like be his manager and do the.
Well, sure, that's what they did with him. They gave him Terry Runnels to be his manager, and but it was just in WWE you gotta be able to talk a little bit on the mic, and not a lot, And so there's a lot of guys who I won't name who didn't have the greatest mic skills, but they were still over because they were such great wrestlers.
Right.
And they could get through a promo. Perry just couldn't quite do it. Everything was in the ring, and so they would give him, a manager to do that for him.
I'll go ahead and shoot Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, that's a guy who sucked in the ring and then sucked on the mic, but he had the look. And so the look was all he needed,
Yeah. Well, let's not forget that Perry Saturn came up in the same wrestling class as Triple H.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They were a tag team together.
Yep. They were both up by what's the guy's name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Killer Kowalski. Killer Kowalski trained Triple H and Perry Saturn.
Another great Canadian. Kowalski, that is. I mean, Triple H is Canadian.
Damn good. You're a great Canadian? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Just checking.
Now, let me just go ahead and talk a little bit about Goldust and Stardust here. Is that all right, gentlemen?
Sure.
Go for it.
Proceed.
I'm drawing them and I have no idea what they're about despite drawing them. So please do.
Okay, so these two, believe it or not, they actually only held the WWE Tag Team titles together twice.
Oh. Okay.
But they have quite a few accomplishments all on their own, which I'm happy to also talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning with Cody Rhodes. In amateur wrestling, Cody Rhodes was the Georgia State tournament champion and the 189-pound weight class. That's 86 kilograms for anyone interested. He won the Georgia State title in 2003 and in 2004. He's held a lot of independent titles. Probably most notably would be the Global Force Wrestling Next Gen Championship in Ohio Valley, which was a longtime training ground for WWE wrestlers. He was a OVW heavyweight champion, television champion, both on one occasion, and Southern Tag Team champion on 2 occasions with a gentleman by the name of Sean Spears.
Mm.
In Ring of Honor, he held the World Championship and the World 6-Man Tag Team Championship with the Young Bucks. But what really matters is the WWE. And it's the WWE. He was a World Tag Team Championship with Hardcore Holly and twice with Ted DiBiase. 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Excuse me. God, they got so many belts that it's just impossible for me to keep it straight now. He held the World Tag Team titles with Hardcore Holly and twice with Ted DiBiase. He held the WWE Tag Team titles, once with Drew McIntyre and twice with Goldust, as we previously mentioned. 2-time Intercontinental Champion also. And hey, he won a Slammy Award for Tag Team of the Year in 2013. He also won a Slammy Award in 2010 for Outstanding Achievement of Baby Oil Application.
A high honor.
A very high honor. Now, Goldust, on the other hand, he's been a champion all over the place. He was NWA Florida heavyweight and tag team champion with Mike Graham in championship wrestling from Florida. If anyone grew up in Florida, they would probably have gone to that. He was actually ranked number 11 in the PWI 500 back in 1996. 500 greatest wrestlers in the world. He was the 11th greatest wrestler. Pro Wrestling Illustrated. In World Championship Wrestling, that would be Ted Turner's promotion. He was the United States Heavyweight Champion twice, the World 6-Man Tag Champ once with Big Josh, aka Matt Bourne, and Tom Zink, the Z-Man. He was the WCW World Tag Team Champion twice, once with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and once with Barry Windham. And he also held the NWA World Tag Team titles with Barry Windham. In the WWE, he is a 9-time WWF Hardcore Champion. He is a 3-time Intercontinental Champion. He is a 2-time WWE Tag Team Champion and a 1-time World Tag Team Champion with Booker T. Did Mior disappear? Mior's gone.
Oh, maybe his computer crashed or something.
I think Goldust got him. I think Goldust got him, or Goldust's other personality in WCW, also known as Black Rain.
See what else
I like Black Rain better than Goldust.
You do?
Yeah, because Black Rain was Goldust more savage. Then when he came back to the E, he wasn't allowed to use Black Rain. He had to be Goldust.
Well, he's changed a lot since he was in the WWE because when he came back, they're more PG. So he had to chill out of some of his character, so he couldn't be as flamboyant.
No, I wasn't even flamboyant. When he was Black Rain, he was just vicious. Like it was like Goldust, but with silver and black. And he was just he was all about kicking people's asses.
Yeah, but that wasn't TNA though.
Oh yeah, TNA, WCW, they all blur together now.
I want to give just a nice hail Starfire to the lovely and vivacious Pope Fire, the Starfire Outlaw.
Hail
Hail
Starfire.
Starfire.
Yes,
Hail Starfire.
I want to hail Skunk Girl, even though everyone
Hail
knows Manny from Good
Starfire.
Dog Press is a gutless coward who's afraid to defend his
Hail, Manny.
championship in here,
Hail,
and that's
Skunk
why
Girl.
Ninja is the only champion in here right now.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Mike, I'm going to butcher
Gotta defend
Mike's
that
last
title,
name.
Manny.
Mike Mayrop? Sorry, Mike, if I butchered it. Yeah, he thinks Saturn was good in WCW. I agree. Saturn was good in WCW. He could have got a little bit more of a push there, in fact.
He held the belts with Raven.
Yeah. Oh, no, he brought up the natural Dustin Rhodes. We just try to forget about the natural Dustin Rhodes.
You know, Dustin Rhodes wasn't bad as a wrestler, but as a personality, he was pretty bland. That's why the Goldust gimmick works so great for him.
Now I want to talk about the Hart Foundation,
Ooh,
which
yeah.
is another great tag team that I know you guys love, I'm sure. And when I say the Hart Foundation, I'm talking about the original tag team. I'm not talking about all the nonsense that is carried on since then in the 90s that we all know of. So the Hart Foundation were considered the 37th greatest tag team of all time by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which I would love to actually see that whole list because I'm surprised they're that low. I thought they would have made the top 25. They held the WWF tag team titles on 2 occasions, and I believe one of those occasions was actually for an entire year, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, you had the new foundation come in, which, you know, I don't really want to talk about that. You know, Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart, just, you know, non-starter. And then you had the new Hart Foundation, which was Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Owen Hart, and the British Bulldog and Brian Pillman. And together, Owen Hart and the Bulldog held the WWF tag titles. Bulldog won the European Championship. Owen won the Intercontinental Championship twice. And Bret was the World Heavyweight Champion. But to talk about Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart a little bit more, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, God rest his soul. He passed away this past August. Very sad.
Yep.
He was an NWA Southern Heavyweight Champion and NWA United States Tag Team Champion in Florida. He was Memphis Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champion with the Blue Meanie. I didn't know that.
What?
I guess so. This would have been sometime in the 2000s, I'm guessing.
The Blue Meanie was the man. Him and JBL were best friends.
Yeah. Oh, yes, they were. That's correct. Mid-South Tag Team Champion with the Natural Butch Reed. He was a Stampede International Tag Team Champion on 2 occasions and is in the Stampede Wrestling Hall of Fame. Oh, he was a Universal Wrestling Alliance champion. And obviously, like we said, 2-time WWF Tag Team Champion. He is in the Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame individually and with the Hart family. 2 inductions. Well deserved. And he has yet to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, which is shocking the hell out of me, actually.
Who is it that we're talking about again?
Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he ever goes in, it will be as a tag team with Bret, you know?
He got his nickname.
Going in as a singles wrestler at all.
Most people don't know this, but he actually got his nickname when Stu Hart entered him into an anvil toss competition at the Calgary Stampede, and he won throwing the anvil 11 feet 2 inches.
Yeah, for those that don't know what the Calgary Stampede is, it's a week-long celebration in Calgary that's basically a huge rodeo that takes place on the Stampede grounds right where the Saddle Dome is. I've been there. It's fun.
Cool.
And now I think it's time we talk about the Dudley Boys, because that is going to take a minute to talk about.
Joel, get the tables, will you? Yeah.
ladders too?
Yeah.
John
Okay.
Wallace, get the tables.
My buddy's here from work listening in. He was just telling me about all the DVDs that he's had. What did you say you had? Like,
I got The Rock. I got all the best WrestleMania DVDs, like Rock versus Stone Cold, The Rock versus who was it? Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I got John Cena versus JBL. I got who the fuck was it again?
you were talking about the British Bulldog, though.
Yeah, British Bulldog versus what is his name?
Bret Hart?
Yeah,
Wembley Stadium?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
Some good stuff.
Talk about Brett.
You know what? I'm kind of upset because nobody chose to draw Anderson Zabisco.
Why wouldn't anyone draw Larry Zabisco? Shut the hell up, John.
Anderson and Zabisco is a good tag team, man. Fight me.
So
the best thing I remember from Larry is getting his head shaved off in TNA by Raven. That was hilarious.
So in amateur wrestling, Bret Hart was the Calgary City champion in 1974, and in college was the Mount Royal Collegiate champion in 77.
God, man, I wasn't even born.
Let me just tell you a little bit about him in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. He won Feud of the Year in 1993 for his feud with Jerry Lawler, and in 1994 for his feud with his brother Owen Hart. He won Match of the Year in 1992 for his bout with Davey Boy Smith at SummerSlam. That's the Wembley Stadium match. He won Match of the Year in 96 against Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. He won Match of the Year in 1997 against Stone Cold in the submission match at WrestleMania 13. He also won Most Hated Wrestler of the Year in 1997 and Most Inspirational Wrestler in 1994. He was also awarded with the Stanley Weston Award in 2003 and ranked number 1 out of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the world in the PWI 500. He won number 1 in 93 and 94, was number 4 in 2003, which, was the 4th greatest wrestler in history. So basically of the 20th century, I would say. And yeah, that sounds fair. In Stampede Wrestling, up there in Calgary, he was a international tag team champion 5 times, 4 times with his brother Keith Hart, who's now a firefighter, and once with Leo Burke, who's a great, I think he was a Quebecois wrestler. Quebecois, yes. Stampede British Commonwealth Mid-Heavyweight Champion 3 times. The Stampede North American Heavyweight Champion 6 times. In WWE, he held the United States Championship once, the Intercontinental Championship twice, the WWF Tag Titles twice with Jim Neidhart, the WWF World Heavyweight Championship 5 times. He was the 1991 and 1993 King of the Ring. He co-won the 1994 Royal Rumble with Lex Luger. He was the 2nd Triple Crown champion in WWE history, meaning he held the tag titles, heavyweight title, and intercontinental title. He's only the 2nd man to ever accomplish that. In WCW, he was a 4-time U.S. heavyweight champion, a 2-time WCW world champion, and he also held the WCW World Tag Team Championship with Goldberg, becoming only the 5th man in WCW history to become a Triple Crown champion. As far as Hall of Fames go, he is in both the Quebec and the Stampede Wrestling Hall of Fame. He is also in the Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame. He is a recipient of the Iron Mike Mazurki Award at the Cauliflower Alley Club in 2008. The Iron Mike Award is awarded to wrestlers who transcended professional wrestling and found a career on, either the silver screen or the small screen, being television, that is. And Brett, was able to, be in episodes of Lonesome Dove, and he was on The Simpsons and a few other television shows in his time. He is inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame which is in Stillwater, Oklahoma. He is inducted into the George Tragos Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, which is located in Waterloo, Iowa. He is in the WWF Hall of Fame, inducted in 2006. And he is in the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum in Wichita Falls, Texas, which if you're ever in Texas and you happen to be somewhere near Wichita Falls, which is, I think it's about 90 minutes north of Dallas, it's definitely worth checking out. It is the only true brick and mortar Hall of Fame in professional wrestling history. They in Waterloo, Iowa, they do have the Dan Gable Museum, but that's kind of that's a museum for wrestlers who really knew how to hook, guys that were real shooters. So you won't see the Road Warriors inducted into that Hall of Fame because they weren't that type of wrestlers. They were bodybuilders who learned how to professional wrestle. They weren't guys who, could hold their own in like an MMA match.
No, they would just beat the shit out of you if they got a hold of you.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if you were a hooker, you would be able to take the Road Warriors down pretty quick and get, and dispose of them, so to speak, using joint manipulation. Now, the Dudley Boys. Let's talk about the Dudley Boys.
Perfect Jim Anvil.
Since we do have P.S. Melter drawing the Dudley Boys, let me check the chat before I do that.
I put myself in a big corner. I'm drawing 4 people.
Muir, as per usual, the internet in Malaysia is garbage. And poor Muir is forced to be on his phone right now, but he is working away. And hopefully we will get him back on here. He is drawing, though.
Yeah, that sucks.
Moshmaster D remembers a tag team in the late 80s called The New Breed. That sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, it does.
He brings up the Midnight Express. We were talking about the Midnight Express earlier, Moshmaster D. And he says the non-Holly version, which would have been the new Midnight Express, Bombastic Bob and Bodacious Bart, which was a very short-lived tag team in the WWF that was comprised of Bob Holly and Bart Gunn from the Smoking Guns. Greedy D believes that the best tag team he ever saw was the Steiners. End of discussion. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, Greedy D, but no one has chosen to draw the Steiners here tonight. Isn't that awful? Isn't that rude?
Yeah, I know. Well, I could only draw one tag team. I could only draw one.
If you have joined us here, I would like
ones,
to ask anyone in the chat who hasn't clicked the like button to please click the like button. Support Testosterone Overload. Support these artists. It only takes 3 seconds to click the like button if you haven't done it yet. We would really appreciate it. Makes it all worth it. Those likes, those little thumbs up, they make it all worth it. They stroke everyone's ego so much. So,
yes, we're sensitive artists. We need our ego stroked.
So the original 3 members of the Dudley family were Dudley Dudley, Big Dick Dudley, and Snot Dudley. They made their first appearance on July 1st, 1995 at Hardcore Heaven, where the tag team of Dudley Dudley and Snot Dudley defeated the Pitbulls. Shortly after their debut, the Dudley brothers aligned themselves with Raven, joining Raven's Nest. At Heatwave on July 15th, 1995, Dudley Dudley and Snot Dudley teamed with Raven in a loss to Tommy Dreamer and the Pitbulls. After Snot Dudley was injured in a jet ski accident, he was replaced on the September 17th, 1995 episode of ECW Hardcore TV by Dances with Dudley, who was said to be the child of Big Daddy Dudley and a Cheyenne Native American woman. You have to understand that, there's all sorts of different Dudleys. And, the bottom line is, don't tell them, but Mama Dudley was a hoe. Dudley Dudley and Dances with Dudley teamed with one another through the latter half of 1995, competing against teams such as the Gangstas and the Bad Crew. In September of 95, Dudley Dudley and Dances with Dudley unsuccessfully challenged the Pitbulls for the ECW tag team titles. The group was expanded when the obese, slobbish, chubby Dudley and the mute, placard-wielding sign guy Dudley which was the result of Big Daddy Dudley's incarceration in an asylum, began accompanying Dudley Dudley and Dances with Dudley to the ringside. In October of 1995, the Dudley family was joined by Bubba Ray Dudley, a stuttering, dancing, overweight hillbilly. After Dudley Dudley left ECW in late 95, Bubba Ray Dudley began teaming with Dances with Dudley, facing teams such as Public Enemy and the Eliminators. At Holiday Hell on December 29th, 1995, the Dudley brothers left Raven's Nest. In January of 96, they unsuccessfully challenged Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck for the tag belts. At Massacre on Queens Boulevard, April 13th, 1996, Devon Dudley made his debut, angrily proclaiming that the Dudleys' comedic antics were not the way true Dudleys should conduct themselves. At Heatwave on July 13th, Devon attacked Dances with Dudley, Chubby Dudley, and Sign Guy Dudley with a chair and delivered a low blow to Bubba Ray before being driven off by Hack Myers. Dances with Dudley and Chubby Dudley left ECW in mid-96. In September of that year, Little Spike Dudley, LSD, debuted in ECW. He was the runt of the litter, and Spike began teaming with Bubba Ray, facing teams like the Eliminators and the Bad Crew. The duo also faced Devon Dudley in a number of bouts. At November to Remember, in 96, Bubba Ray defeated Devon in a singles match.
Funny.
At Crossing the Line Again on February 1st of 97, Bubba Ray turned heel by joining forces with Devon. The duo began teaming together as the Dudley Boys, along with Big Dick and Sign Guy, forming a dominant heel stable. Between March 97 and August of 99, Bubba Ray and Devon held the ECW World Tag Team Championship on a record 8 occasions.
Those guys knew how to piss off a crowd. They would say anything, stuff we can't even see on air, or we'll get in trouble. But like I remember the best line ever. This one won't get us in trouble. But he's like, "Look here, we have a daughter and a mother. The mother who taught her mother how to suck. You know what?" just
I remember that.
Call people whores and other very, very, very not so nice things. And they even actually threatened to go in the audience and wanting to fight the audience.
They did, dude. They got in a guy's face for real once. So, as far as tag team titles go, yes, they held the ECW World Tag Team Championship on 8 occasions. In the Japanese promotion Hustle, they held the Hustle Super Tag Team titles once. They held New Japan's IWGP Tag Team Championship 2 times. That, if you don't know, IWGP stands for International Wrestling Grand Prix.
There's a Grand Prix.
That's what they call it, International Wrestling Grand Prix.
Yeah, but I don't get that though. They
It's the acronym of all New Japan's governing body.
Okay, all right.
I never could understand that.
It's kind of like how in here we had Portland Wrestling, but the belts were the NWA Pacific Northwest Championships.
Right. When I hear Grand Prix, I'm thinking racing.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Does anybody remember when Devon and Bubba came into the WWE and they faced The Rock and Mankind, and Rock was making fun of Bubba Ray stuttering?
They redid that again.
No, I don't remember that necessarily.
No, I know The Rock tends to make fun of everybody, so.
No, man, I think it was the Dudley Boys debut because they didn't have on camouflage, and they had on like overalls and like these colorful shirts, and they came in there doing a Rock and a Mankind promo, and like Bubba said something, but he was stuttering, and like Rock made fun of him and slapped the shit out of him. I think
as far as the tag team titles go in the WWF/WWE, they held the WWF/WWE tag team titles 9 times. They also won the WCW World Tag Team titles during that short-lived moment right after Vince bought the WCW, and they were still promoting those belts. They were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2018. In TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, they held the NWA World Tag titles once, the TNA World Tag titles twice, Bully Ray, which was, Brother Ray, Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, same guy. TNA World Heavyweight Champion twice. Devon was a 2-time TNA Television Champion. And they also are inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame in 2014. Not that anyone cares about that. Yeah, I said it. So that's the story of the Dudley Boys, which is what P.S. Melter is drawing right here for us. So let's take a look how everybody's doing on their drawings here. Your friendly neighborhood ninja is looking amazing right now. Very nice, Ninja. Very nice.
Thank you.
The Tech Corner. It's got the Bella twins. Looking lovely.
Nice.
Thank you.
We've seen P.S. Melter here.
But I was wondering, I do mostly a lot of the cheesecake artwork commissions. So
Jiminy Cricket is hard at work here on Mankind in the background.
Yeah. It's hard to get a hold of his face because it's covered with that mask. So
yeah.
He's trying to sort of work it out right now. So.
And then
another side note, Tech is also doing all the females for my novel. He does Beautiful Women.
Oh, really?
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
And Dreaded Dinosaur's got just an absolutely phenomenal Hart Foundation here.
Thank you.
Brett the Hitman Hart with the shorter hair and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Ah, nice. You know, my fun thing about Brett
Hart
is
with that Jerry curl all the daggum time.
Should I lengthen the hair because I was thinking it might be too short?
It reminds me from WrestleMania 2. And if people don't remember WrestleMania 2, they had a big battle royal. Andre won. But Andre won by last eliminating Bret Hart.
And that is phenomenal, Dreaded.
Thank you.
Anonymous Yes is showing up.
Like him, and it's not even finished. It's just
Anonymous
like
Yes
him.
like the Steiners. Also like Demolition before they had Bryan Adams with them as Crush. I liked it when Bryan Adams came back to Portland and he was still Crush. And we got to have him as Crush for like a year as they seasoned him up a little bit, trying to get him to come back to the WWE. Excuse me, the WWF. Anonymous Yes is saying that those are not Bret Hart's arms. They look like Billy Jack Haynes' arms.
Ooh, someone's getting salty.
Good old Billy Jack.
These guys are just going to town here.
Yeah, this is really fun, guys.
I'm glad you're having fun with it, Ninja.
This is great.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm loving this. Like,
yeah, so it's fun to draw characters or people that you're not naturally inclined to draw. So
I think this might
fun for me
be
as
the
well.
first time actually drawing the Road Warriors.
That's very nice. Your art has improved so much in just like the 6 months we've known each other or whatever, dude. Truly has.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I can
every
only
day.
get better.
Do it every day. That's all.
Better
That's
every
how you get
single
better.
day. Oh man, Jiminy.
That's what you call dead air.
Oh,
Not gonna lie, this is great, dude. I'm loving this. Every one of these guys, it's like, shoo. Seeing this stuff, I want a copy of every one of these.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't normally do real people, so I'm usually doing whatever character. So this is actually, I'll take this as a drawing lesson as well. So
yeah. So it's good to draw against other artists. It helps you to get better. So
Jiminy Cricket, that rock is beautiful, dog.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
That Dwayne is beautiful right there, man. But of course, I'm sorry. I got to vote for Daniel Vega. He's drawing all my women, so I got to vote for him automatically. I got to take care of my artists. He's drawing all my females.
Okay, I appreciate the sentiment, though. I still appreciate the sentiment. So,
if you was drawing for me, I would definitely vote for you too. That's automatic. When my personal artist is in the contest, I gotta vote for him. Gotta keep him happy.
Sounds like you're.
Oh, look,
you're
Mior's
throwing
come
a chair
back
in
now.
Yeah,
Now I can't prove this, but it is possible Mior has a tag team partner who's just like, draw this while I go smoke a cigarette and look at guns that Americans own. It's possible.
Oh yeah, that's the advantage of coming from a third world country. A third world country, I can just say, "Oh, my internet is having some problems," and then I come back. Oh, look, it's done. You know?
He already had a draw beforehand, and he was just messing with us. Mior, your Gold Dust and Stardust are coming along quite nicely. They look pretty terrifying when they're not filled in.
Bring it.
No, this could just be a JoJo reference. I might just put
JoJo.
That's a weep shit.
Are we doing a Bizarre Avenger now?
No.
For those of you who are new to Drawing Blood, Mior here is drawing. He's coming to us all the way from Malaysia.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he has a very unique style that I really appreciate. I really appreciate all your guys' individual styles.
Thank you.
It's really great to see, there's no one in here who's trying to mimic Jim Lee. That's nice.
Jim Lee.
I actually started out trying to draw like Joe Matt. That's what I tried to start out as.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Joe Mad was awesome. He was great.
Yeah, very, very dynamic artist.
Yeah, I was trying so hard to be like him. I'm like, yeah, I need to stop being him and be more myself. So it's like, hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone goes through that phase. Used to try to draw like John Byrne all the time.
Oh, really?
No, I because I've gotten some few critiques. I've gotten, the similarities to. I think I got Jack Kirby at one time. Like Jack Kirby, I don't see it, but okay, I'll take it.
I loved Jeff Matsuda myself. There, once it got into the later '90s when he did this book called Kaboom.
Yeah, it's basically the Joe Mad style kind of took off with quite a bit of artists, and there were a lot of people kind of trying to be him, and I was like, "Whoa, hey guys, you don't have to." I'm sure he appreciates it, but you can, yeah, come up with your own,
Right.
I really don't know what to really, I guess, other than like, oh, this is my style. I don't really know what to, because I pull influence for like American comics and manga and so forth.
Yeah, I like those guys that have really figured out how to blend, the best of both those worlds, the Japanese manga and I guess American. Do we call that the American manga style? Is that what that's?
I suppose I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. The best guy I've seen who does that is Adam Warren. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He used to draw The Dirty Pair, and I think he draws this comic now about this girl whose powers are derived from her costume, and the more her costume gets ripped off, the
Empowered.
What's it called?
Empowered.
Empowered. That's it. Yes. Yeah, but he's a great artist. I mean, I have his stuff from the '90s, and it's actually I think late '80s, and it's just beautiful work even today.
So
is he still producing work though? I haven't heard anything from him for a while.
Warren?
I think he's still doing Empowered. He's been doing Empowered for so long. I don't think he knows how to do anything else other than Empowered.
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to do covers for other comics every once in a while, but I don't even think he's doing that now. He's just working on his own stuff. So
it's like I had like some old. I think I found some old stuff I did.
I love Humberto Ramos's artwork on this book called Out There that Cliffhanger released.
Okay.
Oh.
So if you take a look at my screen, this is an old page. Like this is like I want to say 2001 ish, somewhere in that bin.
Where am I looking
Maybe a
at?
little farther back.
Yeah.
So you can tell where it is at that point from what I'm doing now. So like yeah, so I can kind of level up quite a bit since then.
Mm-hmm.
Pull up a little of this Humberto Ramos. Put my boy over. If I can. That's a very good one.
So, favorite wrestlers of all time.
I'm going to show off this real quick.
What are you guys'
before
choices?
we get there? I just want to show you guys this is
Masahiro
Humberto Ramos's artwork real quick.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
To
that
answer your
is
question,
nice.
Masahiro Chono.
Masahiro Chono.
Yeah, nobody tops Chono in my book.
It's a really hard metric for me to answer because it's like I guess I could say my favorite wrestler in a couple of different generations. If I had to pick like who I thought was like right now, currently I'm a huge Chris Jericho fan. I think to me at least he might be one of the, at least in the top 10 greatest wrestlers of all time, specifically because he's got technical ability, he's got mic ability, and I can't think of anybody who's been able to reinvent themselves successfully so many times.
That's a good choice, and you made valid points. Chris Jericho does have some great mic skills.
I don't know. I guess I have to say Undertaker, but it's only because I think I started watching wrestling, I think around the same time The Matrix came out. So everyone was crazy for that long coat, leather crap look.
Leather crap.
I think that's the only reason.
So wait, Mior, when you was burying that cat earlier, was you playing Undertaker's theme song and wearing a long coat and a hat?
Oh, I forgot to do that. I should have done that.
Exactly. Like, oh, kitty, rest in peace.
Can you imagine walking out of your home and
was there
finding
with
that
him.
cat that's not yours? It's weird. I'm like, what the hell?
Maybe it's a message from someone.
Could be.
No, you know what he
Take off
did?
on-
He was practicing Undertaker's moves on the kitty, or that was his pet cat. He hit the cat with a tombstone and killed it by accident. He tried to hide evidence real quick.
So when I was a kid, I grew up on Portland wrestling, and my favorite wrestler was this guy right here, whose name was Top Gun. Now, granted, this is him when he's in his, like now he's 50. So this is not, he was, a buff dude, but had like a nice natural build, like
that
a little more jacked up than Stone Cold Steve Austin, but not on like the juice or anything like that. And that was my favorite when I was a kid, but like back then we didn't really get, we didn't get the NWA's worldwide programming out here. I mean, we did, but it was on television at like 3:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. So it just was never on your radar when you were a kid because you couldn't keep track of stuff like that. Like you just knew that, 10:00 every Saturday night, Portland wrestling comes on. And then, but in WWF, when I was a kid, man, I really liked Kurt Hennig when I was a kid, even though he was a bad guy.
Hennig was awesome.
And
Perfect. Yeah.
I always really liked the technical wrestlers the most. I loved the Rougeau brothers, even though they were bad guys too. I couldn't help but like watching them wrestle. Bulldogs, Hart Foundation, those were the big three for me. And then in the 90s, I would say Chris Benoit was probably my favorite. I really liked Chris Candido a lot. I liked him when he was the Body Donnas in WWF even.
I miss Chris Candido.
Yeah, he was a really good wrestler. I miss Sunny too, the hottest chick that it was ever in wrestling.
Sonny set up.
And in ECW, I really liked the Sandman. I really liked the Great Muta when I was a kid, but you just never got to see him very much unless it was, on WCW, like back in the days before the Monday Night Wars. The Japanese wrestlers always fascinated me. Believe it or not, when I was a little kid in elementary school, and they have you fill out like the little thing about what you want to do when you grow up. My dream was to grow up to become a masked Japanese pro wrestler.
Cool.
And I didn't realize that I couldn't become Japanese. But it didn't stop Kendo Nagasaki over in England. He was a masked Japanese pro wrestler and a Briton.
But it works.
That's why I like Masahiro Chono. Good order for Chono. I wouldn't know nothing about New Japan. I would say Chono and a Great Muta are my two favorites.
Yeah.
Well, what about Chris Daniels as Curry Man?
I just never got to see very much of Chris Daniels. I loved Kurt Angle a lot too. Like back when he had hair and was just the nerd, the virgin nerd.
He was like a heel type something. Because he was trying to play like the naive guy, I guess. I'm not sure. That's what I remember, but I can't. It's people probably debate me like, no, he wasn't.
The thing about Kurt Angle was he was really good at playing the I'm the good guy, but no one liked him. He tried to be the good guy, but he was hated. So when he's thinking he's getting cheered, he was getting booed. It really worked for him a lot.
To this day, whenever I chew gum, I still always try to do the spit and slap like he used to.
Heck yeah.
Who's breathing heavy into their
Great,
mic?
dude.
Somebody's breathing heavy.
I don't know. It's here. I don't think that was me.
So Moshmaster D says that Portland wrestling was the Memphis of the West, and that is a very accurate description. Now that we are in the 21st century and we're able to see all this wrestling from all over the place, Memphis is really the only territory that looks like Portland wrestling looked. Kind of that same Southern style. It was very unique out here because we were just it's a lot like Stampede wrestling in the sense that we were just on the edge of nowhere and we were so isolated back then. Nobody talked about Portland, Oregon. When I was a kid, if people said Portland, they thought you were from Maine. And this is true, yeah. And now people probably don't even think about Portland, Maine.
No,
they all
not
think
really.
of Portland, Oregon. Moshmaster D says not the real Kendo. No, I'm referring to the British Kendo Nagasaki. We had a Kendo Nagasaki here in Japan who was Mr. Sakurada up in Stampede. Did I say here in Japan? We had a Kendo Nagasaki here in Portland who was not the real Kendo Nagasaki. This is like a complicated story. So in England, they had a guy named Kendo Nagasaki, but he was a white dude with friggin' blue eyes. And he wore a mask and he wrestled as, Kendo Nagasaki. Like obviously clearly a Japanese name. And then here in Portland, because we were so isolated, we would get these wrestlers in and they would go under the name of a famous wrestler from somewhere else. But being from here, we never saw who those wrestlers were from somewhere else. So we didn't, we had our own assassin and it wasn't Jody Hamilton. It was actually Dave Sierra, who later became Top Gun. And this is just something that Don Owen, the promoter, kind of did. So we had our own Kendo Nagasaki, who was Mr. Sakurada from Stampede Wrestling. Mr. Sakurada is probably most well known by modern fans as being the trainer of Bret the Hitman Hart. And so our Kendo Nagasaki wasn't the real Kendo Nagasaki, but he was the real Japanese wrestler.
Okay.
Huh. And now you know.
Knowing is half the battle.
Or something.
G.I. Joe.
What are you saying, Muir?
Have they ever met or something like the two Kendo?
I don't think so. You know, I mean, it's anything is possible in the world of wrestling, but I don't think that the real Kendo Nagasaki ever made. If he would have made it to America, I think it probably would have been on the Eastern Seaboard somewhere.
Hmm.
And our Kendo Nagasaki, I think that he was in so well with the Hart family that usually like back then, what you would do is if you found a promotion where you were getting over, you wouldn't leave that promotion, because you're making money here. So there's no reason to leave. And I think that Sakurada got in good with the Harts and was training people in the dungeon, which was the infamous basement at the Hart house, where, you would hear the screams coming from out of the dungeon as they stretched guys down there. And Sakurada worked for the Harts, and I think, he just, he had a cush job, and so there was no reason to leave. Oh, so Moshmaster D does say that the British Kendo Nagasaki did work for Stu Hart. Did he wrestle as Kendo Nagasaki, Moshmaster D? I'm very good friends with Bruce Hart, who is one of the older Hart boys. He did some training there. He was the booker in the 1980s and was the guy who, really taught the Junkyard Dog and Bad News Brown, or Bad News Allen, whatever you want to call him, Jake the Snake Roberts, Dynamite Kid and British Bulldog, Bret Hart, Owen Hart. All these guys kind of came up in wrestling when Bruce was booking Stampede. And so Bruce and I we've done a podcast together for 5 or I think we're 6 years in now. And so we often talk about this relationship, and neither one of us knows the answer. I thought for sure he would know the answer to how the whole NWA was working back then, because it seemed like Don Owen didn't really have, our promoter in Portland didn't really have much of an allegiance to Portland, to the NWA, and the same with Stu Hart, and the same with Vern Gagne, and the same with Fritz Von Erich. And it almost seems like the NWA was much more of a Eastern coalition. And, later on in years, basically all our promoters just said, screw the NWA. What are they doing for us? And I know that Stu booked this big show and was supposed to have the NWA World Champion come in. And, a week before the show or whatever, he gets a call that says, "Oh, we're not sending him up there." He's like, "Well, I've been promoting this show for 2 months now. And it's a big show, at the Saddle Dome, and we're supposed to, we're going to make a great paycheck on this." And so he just said, screw them. And he called Vern Gagne and had Nick Bockwinkel sent up instead with the AWA world title.
Wow.
And our promotion kind of did that as the NWA was falling apart. Don Owen was still part of the NWA, but he brought Kurt Hennig back in, who was the AWA world, was the AWA world champion back then. And so our NWA Pacific Northwest champion, the Grappler, had this big feud with Kurt Hennig, the AWA world champion, out here for a couple weeks, because Kurt broke in out here. And, after he kind of learned the business there in Minneapolis, they sent him out here to get seasoned. And, and I could go on forever about it.
How would you get into the wrestling business, Theo?
I really I liked it, and there was a show here in Portland called Dr. Payne's Clinic Wrestling. And there was, so you got to understand that in my region, basically professional wrestling, I don't want to say it exactly died out, but in December of 1991, Don Owen lost his television. Vince McMahon came in, and back then Portland wrestling was on every single week, and the television studio would come down and film it because it was, free content for them. And back, you got to remember, this was also back when there were only, 3 or 4 channels on television, right? And so local television was huge for, the first 30 years of television, basically. And Vince McMahon decided to expand outside of New York. Vince bought his dad's territory, which was the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, which ran the New York area, Pennsylvania, that whole area, Boston. And he bought this with the intention of going, global with it. And his dad would have, Vince will even say, my dad would have never sold me the territory if he knew what I was going to do, because he would get phone calls from all his friends in the wrestling business. What the fuck is your boy doing? He's fucking us over. He's screwing us. He's coming into our territory. Because basically all the promoters back then agreed that they wouldn't compete with each other. And so they just carved up territories out of all the states. Right. And Don Owen ran Washington and Oregon, and, very rarely would go into Idaho. And you would have, and then beneath, like, people don't realize this, but beneath the main promoter that everyone is familiar with, there were dozens of other promoters who just owned one town. So like, I'm Don Owen and I run Portland and Salem and Eugene, but I have, but it was actually his brother, Elton Owen, who ran Eugene. And then there was Tex Hager was out in Yakima, Washington, which is, about 2.5 hours away from Portland. And Tex Hager owned that territory, but they would get all their talent from Don Owen's office. Okay. And Dutch Savage ran Seattle and Tacoma. And so they would just use all the talent out of Portland. Or like once they kind of got up into central Washington, into the Seattle area, Dutch Savage would use like half the guys from Portland, and then he would bring in half the guys from British Columbia up in Canada. And so you would kind of see a completely different show if you were willing to go to Seattle for wrestling. And so anyways, so wrestling kind of died out in 91 when Vince McMahon bought the TV time that Don Owen had had for 30 years, or shit, since Don went on TV in 57, no, 57, 62. I can't remember. I have to look it up. And so basically this guy just had the market was cornered and he never had any real competition. And so he just had this monopoly, and they were all so comfortable with it. They just didn't see Vince really coming. And there's a lot of debate that, the fans of Portland wrestling were so loyal to it that Portland wrestling probably could have survived, because Vince can't be everywhere at once. I mean, he can get his TV here every week, but all we have to do is go find another station. But Don Owen was like an 80-year-old man, and he was just done. So he closed up shop after he lost the TV. He closed up shop early in 92. And then a very popular referee down here who was a wrestler when he was younger, named Sandy Barr, ran wrestling. And Sandy had a good thing going for maybe from about 92 till about 97. So he had like a little 5-year run that was pretty good. And you kind of felt like, they could have got back to where, maybe not to where they were, but they had a weekly show, and they had, 100 people or more showing up every week. And, every week you'd see a few more people, a few more stragglers would come in to watch wrestling. And Sandy, had an argument with the wrestlers and just shut down his promotion. And basically he never ran a promotion that was that good again. And he started running with guys who really just weren't trained appropriately. But it was kind of all Sandy knew was just wrestling and running a flea market. And so in the early 2000s, what happened was you started to see all of these independent promotions crop up. And it was just like a guy who never had any experience in the wrestling business would go out and buy a ring. And he would find, and he would go to Sandy's show, and he would get all these guys who were kind of half-trained wrestlers, and he would just start using them. And so really when I got in, there were no promotions that I even knew existed in Portland. Imagine that. Like, I live right next to Portland, and I don't even know if there's wrestling. And the only one I knew about was this Dr. Payne's Clinic Wrestling that I just happened to see on a billboard outside of a bar. And it just said live wrestling every Monday night, and Dr. Payne's. And I was just like, what in the hell is this? So I had a buddy, my buddy Darren was on leave from the military, and we just happened to go to like this show one time. I said, well, I'd be interested in maybe helping out in this somehow. I don't know what I would do. Maybe I could, I know how to run my mouth pretty good. So maybe I could do commentary, or maybe I could just run a camera and help make a show. And this Bobby Payne, as he's known, was quite the hustler, and got a lot of guys to work for him for free for a very long time. And a lot of people hate his guts, but I got no beef with the guy. And so that's kind of how I started. And as soon as you start at that first promotion, I'm sorry, go ahead, Muir.
No, say that. And you've been doing this for 16 years, right?
Oh, 13 now.
Oh,
so that's kind of how I got started. And then as soon as you start at the one, the wrestlers, when they see you have something to offer the business, like, how to produce a television show, how to run a camera, how to edit. I mean, whatever it is, they're going to try to exploit you for as much as they can. And so they immediately start to tell you, like, oh, well, you should come to this other promotion. It's a lot better than this one. And you kind of start to make the rounds, but I'm a fairly discerning person. And I just kind of like, after a little while, it's just like, well, this isn't exactly the wrestling I grew up on. This isn't like Portland wrestling, which had nothing but really trained professional wrestlers. It's not like the WWF, which had really professionally trained wrestlers. And so, slowly but surely, it was just kind of like, well, I mean, is this it? Is this all? Like, you guys, they talk a good game, but it's like, where's the money? We need more money. There's got to be more money in this, and so at some point there, maybe in 2000, let's see, that was 2005. So maybe around 2008, I had the opportunity to meet a guy named Dutch Savage. And Dutch Savage was a legitimate legend of wrestling. A lot of people don't know his name, but in the Northwest, he is legendary because he tag teamed with Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And him and Jimmy Snuka held the Pacific Northwest tag titles, I think 6 or 7 times together, and were just the hottest thing going. And Dutch Savage was on top out here for 20 years. And by on top, I mean he was, one of the biggest names in wrestling and was one of the biggest draws, and, made millions of dollars as a professional wrestler here in the Northwest. And so when I had the opportunity to meet Dutch Savage, which is like a guy that my dad and my uncle grew up watching and talking about, Dutch really took a liking to me for whatever reason. And probably because I'm a likable guy and I'm smarter than a lot of the other people he's probably met in wrestling. Most of the people are what's called a mark, which is like a fan is a mark. And some marks are great. Like all the fans in here are really cool, but there's a lot of other fans who are more into hero worship, kind of like what we see in Comicsgate, if you know what I'm saying. Very, very much like we see in Comicsgate. And it's not as bad in wrestling. It's not even close to that bad. But so I think just Dutch took a liking to me because he kind of asked me hard questions and I knew the answers. And so he did what you call smartened me up to the business and really taught me how to look at the wrestling business. And that was kind of when I just, I didn't have a lot of friends in the wrestling business after that because, here's Dutch Savage taking a liking to me. And I'm not a wrestler. I'm, just this dude. And as they would say when they're mad, you're just a camera operator. Shut the F up. It's like, I produce this television show every week, so you can kiss my ass. That's how I feel. And so that just really taught me how to look at the business more and more. And I just, after that, it just is kind of downhill from there because, nobody was taking it as serious as I knew it was supposed to be taken. And no one was treating it the way that Dutch taught me. This is how you need to look at the wrestling business, which is like any other business. This is a product. And if you're making, like, it's just like comic books. Like if you're making a comic book that looks like it was drawn by a guy, who's got a 6th grade drawing level, that comic's not going to sell. And yeah, I mean, you might be having fun doing it, but you better remember Jim Lee doesn't give a shit about that because Jim Lee is Dutch Savage level. This is a guy who's made millions of dollars in the business. So who do you want to learn from? Do you want to learn from Jim Lee, or do you want to learn from, Todd Pope, who's making whatever comic he's making? that you've never heard of. You know, you want to learn from Jim Lee, you want to learn from Todd McFarlane. Those guys are going to teach you how to make a living in the business. And the problem is the majority of wrestlers nowadays, and when I got started, they didn't have that knowledge. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. And, you know, you were trained by a guy who was a fine little wrestler in his day, but he was never on top. He never really drew money. Yeah, he made a living, but he didn't make enough money to retire on. And so, you know, you only are going to have the skill level that that person gives you. So if you don't seek out a guy like, let's say, Bruce Hart, Stampede Wrestling, you know, you're not going to ever be able to learn how to be on top and make real money at it. And it just kind of got to the point where I realized that all these promotions in this area, they were never going to make the kind of money they needed to make for it to be worth the effort. And then I kind of got hooked up with Bruce because Bruce Hart was looking for somebody to, you know, help him on this podcast who wasn't a mark. And, you know, there's, you know, I kind of say it like how, kind of like how Nasser decided he wanted me to help him edit because he had a ton of offers, and all these offers to be an editor were like, yeah, I'll read your book. Do you think you can get me on Ethan's stream? And it's like, well, I'm looking for somebody who's going to try to help me make my book better, not somebody that just wants to get on a stream and wants the connections. And I was the only guy that said, Nasser, I'd be willing to edit it, but you have to understand that I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm not going to tell you your work's good if it's not good. You know, if you want that, you need to go give it to your mom. She'll tell you your work's good. I'll tell you the truth. And you know, Nasser thought about it for a couple of weeks and was like, yeah, this is the only dude that's actually said that, you know, I don't give a crap. I don't need to be on anybody's stream. Like, you know, I've built this little YouTube channel right here. I got 11,000 people on this thing. I'm cool with this. This is fine. I know how to do this. I can do this in comics too. You know, I can do this in anything. I've done it. I've made other television shows in Portland that have become the toast of Portland back in the day. So I know how to create a thing and build it and promote it. And I like to do it too. I mean, I even do it in politics here in the Northwest too. I work in politics a little bit too. And I just kind of breaking into that. And that's fun too. And so that's the same kind of philosophy that, you know, Bruce Hart would have, because that's a guy who made a living in the wrestling business. And he said, you know, this dude, this is the guy, you know, his buddy Bob, who's worked for the Harts for Bob's worked for the Harts for 40 years. Bob said, you know, we need to get this Matt guy because he's promoting on YouTube and Facebook every single day. And, you know, you listen to him talk and you can tell he knows the wrestling business. And, you know, Bruce took a liking to me because I got it, you know, and most people don't get it. And so that's the long story. It's not a long story short. It's a long story.
Nice story, though.
Meaning
I got a question for you though, Tio. Would you ever do a show with what's the name? Jim Cornette. I would love to hear you and Jim Cornette talk.
I mean, sure I would. I don't think Jim Cornette would do a show with me, but
why? He doesn't like you?
Oh, I just don't know how. I don't know how it would benefit him. It would benefit me, but
I mean,
both y'all
got a lot of knowledge of the business. I think he would be impressed with your knowledge of the business too.
I mean, maybe he would, or I mean, maybe he'd bury me. You know, he does whatever he wants. There's one thing guaranteed: Jim Cornette's going to get Jim Cornette over. I don't know if he's going to get me over. I'll put him over, but I don't know if he'd put me over. We don't know each other, you know. I respect him totally. Like, that's a guy that's definitely paid his dues and knows the business really well. And if he wanted to come on a stream, I would, you know, like, whenever I get on anybody with more knowledge than me, you don't hear me talk a lot. You hear me ask a lot of questions because I want to learn more.
I figure he'd be impressed, though. You know, you sound like the kind of dude with your knowledge that Jim Cornette would love to talk to.
Yeah, he might. He might. Let's take a look at some of this artwork these guys are drawing. What's going on here with Dreaded Dinosaurs? Really rocking the Hart Foundation.
Thank you.
Here, that's red though. Does that look pink on your screen?
It looks pink on mine.
Okay, just letting you know, it looks red to us.
It looks pink to me.
Oh, really? Maybe it's my monitor.
Or pink-ish, anyway.
Okay. The Rock and Sock Connection. See, Jiminy, you start really strong, and then you seem to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I had to take a couple breaks. So, my wife's here, so I have to,
Oh, the lovely Mrs. Cricket.
I had to pay attention to her too. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No. Say hello to the lovely Mrs. Cricket for us all.
Yes, I will. She went to bed, so.
Muir is working on this. What time did we start?
I think we started at 8 ish.
I think that's 7 p.m. my time. It's 9 now. I'm supposed to call it quits in a minute, but
it was 10. It's 10:59 right now. Here in Texas time.
We've really been doing this for
like
2
Texas
hours.
time.
Unbelievable. This does not feel like we've been doing this for 2 hours. P.S. Melter is just like, look at P.S. Melter's he's given up. He's just throwing all these markers down. He just said, screw it.
Yeah, I just spent the whole time just drawing 4 frickin' characters in a ring and
We've got
yeah.
Oh, let's take a look at those Dudleys. There we go. Yes, there they are. Get the tables.
Signed that guy down there with "You suck."
Oh yes, very nice.
So I'm guessing I'm gonna use like blue and red and something else for my third color.
That's up to you. You have 3 colors you can use. It's all up to you.
Yeah, well, I gotta make the fire look red, right?
The Bella twins are looking very hot here at the tech corner.
Thank you.
Your friendly neighborhood ninja is. Can you pull out for just a second for us, Ninja? Let us see what you got going on. Oh yeah, dude, awesome, Ninja. Are you gonna do? Okay? I gotta know. Are you gonna do the red or the blue shoulder pads? Ninja, you must have
Ninja, rap.
Answer us, Ninja.
Go Ninja, go.
9.95.
Mute yourself, Ninja, and answer us. Red or blue shoulder pads?
Boy, I'm not sure because I only got 3 colors, so I'm contemplating it. How much time we got left? Do you think?
Well, we're supposed to stop like right now, but I think we've all realized that drawing 2 characters takes more time, so we're gonna go longer.
All
Go
right.
until everybody's ready to fall asleep. That's it. We'll go till 3 in the morning.
Be a slumber party.
What do you guys think?
Like everybody needs.
Red or blue?
What do you guys need? Another 30 minutes?
Red.
Yeah, I'd be good with 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, let's.
Hey, there's a slick that just entered the chat.
Hey, Jimmy.
And then, of course, I was about to get to this stud. This is Slick Jimmy Love Muffin, whose comic book is called Little Girl Lethal. It is a total hit on Indiegogo. It features a very attractive blonde woman, and there are 2 versions of the comic. You can see her in clothing in a modest version, or you can see her fully nude. Full nude comics from Slick Jimmy Love Muffin, Little Girl Lethal. Now available on Indiegogo. I recommend you go get it because Jimmy is about to hit $20,000, and that is rare for an independent comic book artist to get. Not that he's an artist. I mean, he's a writer. Whiskey Pain is the artist, but I like to refer to writers as artists too because really they are the artist. They're the first artist. They have to create it all in their mind. They're kind of like they're like a creator god,
Indeed.
That's right.
I vote red for the shoulder pads. Red.
He says
All
red.
right.
I'm gonna go with blue. It's been so long since I've seen the blue shoulder pads because they hardly ever wore them.
There's a reason.
I'm sad is that you didn't do them from the early days with the weird face paint they used in the beginning with like the weird jester and the full on like M thing on Hawk.
I liked the more what they typically used better. That was just always I preferred Animal having the like spider on his forehead and Hawk having the kind of the hawk wing type of thing over his eye. So I always thought that was more of a
On Hawk's right foot, right ankle, you might want to add a little thickness. He looks like he's about ready to break.
yeah.
let me hit the chat here real quick. Are we drawing Pope Cat tonight? I think that's a great idea, Pope Fire. I mean, we're not going to draw Pope Cat in here, but I mean, we could maybe draw Pope Cat on your channel, which is Pope Fire the Starfire Outlaw. If you love comics, go check out Pope Fire the Starfire Outlaw on YouTube, because her streams are the funnest streams, because she is very bombastic. She's going at 1 million miles an hour and always keeps it super fun. And a wrestling historian, Moshmaster D, says that Peter Thornley, a.k.a. Kendo Nagasaki, the British version, did work as Kendo Nagasaki in Stampede Wrestling in Calgary. And according to Wikipedia, he worked in the Pacific Northwest for a cup of coffee. And, which in the wrestling business, a cup of coffee means you were in a promotion for 8 weeks or less. You were just there enough time to have a cup of coffee. Like Rob Liefeld, when he went back to Marvel for Heroes Reborn, I would say he was there for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Until I saw his Captain America.
Yeah.
It's like, you can leave now.
Which was a really good story. Jeff Loeb was writing a great story there, and I was really pissed even when they axed Rob that they did not stick with Jeff Loeb in that story, because it was so good that I'm going to steal elements of it and put it into something else I'm writing in the future.
Cool.
I think so. Moshmaster D, no Southern Rockers, dude. We can only draw Marty Jannetty, because Marty Jannetty's Coke booger is freaking just huge, dude. It's got a big one up there. It looked at me and it said, define your entrance from the minute you leave the backstage area. Oh, Good Dog Press wants to know, who won? Oh, you know who didn't win? Good Dog Press didn't win because Good Dog Press didn't have the script to go up here and defend his title, which is why Ninja is the champion, Manny from Good Dog Press. Ninja is the champion, if you didn't know. and he wants to get you in the ring again. So quit running scared. Quit running. I know you got a yellow streak up your back, just like Skunk got that yellow stripe up her tail, that white stripe up her tail. You got that yellow streak up your back. Oh no, he says, oh no, the traitor is here. Kick Josh. Rude.
He's been a pretty good mod this evening, surprisingly.
He just got out of church for all of us. No, you only have to pray for us when we're on the Crypto Comics stream. The Testosterone Overload stream is relatively calm and clean.
I don't even think we've dropped any F-bombs this evening.
Have we?
No, I don't believe so. I'm very proud of everyone for not doing that.
I'm trying to restrain myself as much as possible. It's just that in high school we used to drop F-bombs like there was no tomorrow. So for a bunch of nerds, we did talk a lot of trash.
Manny, you better get down on your knees and pray for yourself, because Ninja's coming for you, boy.
True, Manny.
He wants a dog collar match with you. And then we'll see who the good dog is.
Manny, you've been a bad dog.
Listen, Manny, get your butt in this ring with Ninja, or Edwin Ninja. Get in this ring, and if you do, if you win, like I said,
you need to get in here.
Like I said, I will cosplay a skunk girl. For a whole day. I will wear it outside. I will take pictures. I will film it. I'm dead serious. I just need somebody to make me the costume. Somebody get on that. If you beat him, Manny, I will cosplay a skunk girl. Matter of fact, I'll do it for 2 whole days.
You'll do it
2
for
whole
fun.
freaking days.
You just want the costume.
Dude, I'm dead serious, because something tells me if I do it up here in Philly, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. So
on to a couple more people here in the chat. Anonymous, yes. I want to say to your Larry the Axe Hennig comment, Larry the Axe Hennig, who just passed away, true legend of professional wrestling without a doubt. Larry the Axe Hennig's son is Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. And believe it or not, Kurt Hennig's very first championship in professional wrestling was winning the NWA Pacific Northwest Tag Team titles in Portland Wrestling with his father, Larry the Axe Hennig.
Wow.
Story. Across Comics. So is this the new night for drawing blood? Well, considering that we got all these artists to show up on a Sunday night, it seems like Sunday is a much better night to draw and talk pro wrestling. I know I'm happier with it than on a Friday night. That's for sure.
Yes, it's Sunday night, and we're feeling right on Sunday night.
Yeah, part of it might be
Well, if you
because
think
tomorrow's a
about it, that's
holiday.
when all the pay-per-views would happen, right?
Where the
pay-per-views would usually go down on a Sunday.
I just realized that I think just missed
Is it tonight or is it tomorrow? The Royal. I mean, is it tonight or next week's Royal Rumble? I think it's next week.
I don't know. Asking the wrong guy.
I think that should be the next one we do is Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
your favorite Royal
guys.
Rumble.
We're gonna draw your favorite Royal Rumble. All 30 wrestlers in the ring.
Oh,
I'll be here on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is gonna be another 8-hour stream.
Okay, this is the Attitude Era. You can say what you need to say. You just try not to.
I got something better for y'all. You draw your favorite Royal Rumble winner. One person.
I think we should pick nothing related to WWE. I don't want to cater to WWE. Vince McMahon doesn't pay me any money.
You're right. I was about to throw in there that nobody draw Roman Reigns. He's disqualified. Never draw Roman Reigns.
I'm not even. Should I know who he is? I only know all the way up to John Cena.
All right, okay, put it like this. No WWE, then how about the next time they draw their favorite Grand Prix New Japan winner?
I have no idea who any of those are.
You can Google it real quick. You can learn in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so I'm just realized I left out her elbow, so I put her elbow back in. Ignore it. Well,
I'm still voting for you. You're my artist. I gotta vote for you. They look sexy as shit.
Yeah, thank you. I'm like, damn it.
Matter of fact, I got a good idea, right? We need to get Jimmy over to Vince McMahon because he'd be a good announcer. I can see it now. Jimmy on the microphone next to the king.
No,
Jerry
I'm
the
not
King
that
Law.
good. We need to get Tio over there.
No, dude, you be perfect. You be perfect.
No, I'm
Need
not
to
good.
be where?
I don't. My tongue's not glib enough. I
As an
stutter and
announcer.
stammer and shit. You know.
Oh, in WWE, I do have some experience. I'd have to really brush up. I'd have to watch like a lot of Joey Styles. I've forgotten more moves than I remember. I'm just looking for something that I really want to point out to everybody that's really awesome. I just need a minute to find it.
I'm right here, man. Just point me out.
There he is. Slick Jimmy Love, Little Girl Lethal. Did I say that already?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Good.
I appreciate the shilling that our boy Matt does. It's much appreciated on getting people to come out and look at my page there on Indiegogo and see if they want to buy some sugar.
I recommend it, you know.
Ooh, excuse me.
Even if your faith wants you to deny Jimmy, don't worry. He has modest versions. His story is going to be awesome. I can tell you that. So I do want to show you guys some stuff that's really cool. Speaking of the Royal Rumble. And since you are comic book artists, I think you'll like this, even though not all of you are wrestling fans.
Uh-huh.
So this is the 1991 Royal Rumble artwork. This is by Joe Jusko, who you all know from the very first Marvel Masterpieces.
Yeah.
We've got the Ultimate Warrior. We've got Sergeant Slaughter. We've got Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. Obviously Hulk Hogan. We've got the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich. Behind him are Animal and Hawk, who Ninja are drawing there. That's the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. I noticed that Hawk has his alternate makeup on here. That's interesting. We got the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Yeah, dig it. We've got
be a hard voice to pull off.
The Big Boss Man from Cobb County, Georgia. We got the Earthquake. This is now Earthquake and Typhoon were a tag team called the Natural Disasters, but this is not Earthquake and Typhoon. This is Earthquake. This is Typhoon before he was Typhoon. This is when he was a Tugboat. And And so, yeah, I thought this was really cool. And this this cover was so popular, I think, that they actually did it again the next year for the Royal Rumble 1992.
Did you forget Sergeant Slaughter in that last one?
No, I said Sergeant Slaughter.
Okay.
And here, of course, we have the Macho Man and Hulk again. We have Sid Vicious. I think this is actually him as Sid Justice. This back here, this is Big John Studd. If you guys remember Big John Studd. We have Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Rowdy Scott, my favorite. Portland, Oregon represent. The Big Boss Man again. We've got Hawk and Animal again in the background. The Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. This over here, that looks like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ho! Sorry, that's what he would do. We've got Jake the Snake Roberts with the King Cobra. We've got the Undertaker. We've got Sergeant Slaughter again. This, I feel like, was maybe right before Slaughter turned in the Iraq War. When was the Iraq War? What year was that?
Which one?
93, 94?
93, 94, yeah.
I was before 93 and 94. I was
Like,
90,
90. Yeah, it was during the Bush years.
And of course, the limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun, the nature boy Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game. Also hand painted by Joe Driscoll.
Cool.
Hey, if you want to, I did a tribute to that Jusco painting for a wrestling promotion in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah, I got it up on my screen.
Let's take a look at the dreaded dinosaur. Oh my gosh, dude.
That looks awesome.
That is really awesome.
Oh, wow. Whoa. I don't know. Is it backwards on YouTube? Because it's
no, it looks great. It looks great.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. So you got Sergeant Slaughter's signature, Brutus. You got all the signatures.
Everybody's on here, yeah.
Holy crap, bro. That is worth something for sure. Wow.
I became friends with Jimmy Hart at that show. He was next to me. He was doing MC work the whole.
Do I see One Man Gang on there too?
Oh yeah. He was cool.
That is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah,
that's so neat.
I preferred it when he was Akeem, the African Dream.
That is so weird. Hey, let's take a white guy and make him from Africa.
That was a really fun weekend. I went out to dinner with the promoter and with Sergeant Slaughter and Tatanka. Let me tell you, Tatanka has some great stories. He was on the road. He was a roadie with Undertaker, and apparently Undertaker would pretty much stay in character the whole time. He told this one story is where he was. They would get up every morning and they'd go work out, and he went to Undertaker's door and it was open. He walked in. The room was cold. All the lights are out. Undertaker's laying in the middle of the bed, underneath all the covers, like he's dead. He sits up. He says, "I don't think I'm going to work out today," and he just lays back down. And he said that kind of stuff happened all the time with Taker when they were on the road.
So, speaking of Joe Driscoll a minute ago, I'm just going to keep referencing Joe Driscoll here. Have you guys ever read Cops the Job? It's a 4-issue miniseries from Marvel Comics.
No.
This is Joe Driscoll's first work for Marvel ever. And believe it or not, he was not the artist. He was the writer of this. Joe Driscoll used to be a New York cop. So he tried to get into comics in the early 80s. And he didn't really have much success. He got a little bit of work, but nothing special. And so he gave up and became a cop. But the desire to be in comics was so strong that he couldn't help it and had to try to get in any way he could. And this was his first work when he came back in 1991, maybe. This is a really good miniseries too. And you read it, and I'm kind of surprised that Marvel was willing to put this out because it was definitely PG-13. And it was good. It is worth picking up.
Why is it PG-13?
It just deals with some it deals with murder as an element and not in a superhero sort of way, like in a very real cop sort of way. There's no language in it or anything like that. But just the adult nature of it, I would say,
Yeah.
was something that was especially for that era in Marvel.
Was this set in the Marvel universe? Was it?
No, there's no superheroes in it at all.
Okay, so it's its own little thing, right?
Yeah, it's its own little thing. I mean, it might take place in the Marvel universe. I can't say. But Joe Jusko brought his experiences as a New York cop really to it, and it's really kind of weird to read it because I loved it when I was a kid, but as an adult, I just read it obviously to do this review. Yeah. And my God, dude, New York's mentality has taken over our entire nation, our entire friggin' world. Like, there are social justice warriors in here, professional protesters. Like, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez makes an appearance.
Oh,
shit. And it was really good, though. I would recommend picking up Cops the Job. It's quite different from the standard Marvel fare back then.
Yeah, probably pick it up on eBay for a song.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I love his covers for Doc Savage books.
Yeah, he's an incredibly talented painter.
Yeah.
So let's see how everybody's doing here. Okay, your friendly neighborhood ninja is getting into the coloring now.
Is it terrible? I've been done for a while.
No, there's nothing wrong with being done early. Where now Tech Corner, where are the One Bella's legs? Does she not have legs?
I just kind of cropped. I didn't even bother putting the rest of the legs in.
Okay, yeah, you care about that part, huh? Mm-hmm. That's not the part of the ladies you care about.
More or less.
P.S. Melter is still gung-ho on this Dudley Boys.
All right, I flipped a coin. It was heads for red, tails for blue. So tails came up blue.
Oh, I love it. P.S. Melter, are you done? Or are you still going?
I'm going to still color support. I'm just like adding, some using red, blue, and orange. So I'm just adding. Even though they don't.
Really interesting. Are you going to go with like this minimalist approach? It's really cool.
Because I like how recognizable they are. When I was looking at the pictures, I was like, they have this really recognizable makeup going on. So I thought I'd try that. I don't know, maybe I'll put highlights with white or something, like on the fingers or like the bicep or something.
How much more time do you think you need, Mior?
I think I'm about done.
Okay.
Won't be long.
I just want to say, all these pieces look beautiful, but of course, vote for Vegas. Always vote for Vegas. Vote twice, vote often.
Thank you. I mean, let's see. I got it.
Dude, I just love your females. I really do, Vegas. I just love your females. That's why you're my top artist.
I'm going to tell General John to take the comm. I'm going to go make the straw poll so that we can get
I love it.
Because I love it. So I'm trying to find stuff I can actually show that's not going to get me in trouble or get the channel in trouble.
Not get the channel in trouble.
And all these beautiful artists on the panel right now. Make sure everybody in the chat subscribe to these wonderful, beautiful people on Twitter and the YouTubes. Also, be sure to check out Jimmy's book, Little Girl Lethal. That is Little Girl Lethal. One of the baddest new female superheroes to come on the market. Also, subscribe to Testosterone Overload's channel, and Crypto Comics all together. Interesting stuff. We can find crazy characters like Rizzy Lee, the Mad Australian, and our new inductee, Edwin Ninjet, the pastor of Testosterone Overload's channel. And wonderful people like Manny Dog Press, who's hiding in the audience somewhere because he's a coward. And we got the lovely P.S. Meltzer. And who else we got here? We got P.S. Minor. Yes, the mighty Minor with the Robert Garcia avatar. Gotta love some Robert Garcia. All these beautiful, wonderful people. Subscribe, follow, like. We are the choice of a new generation. Yes, indeed, we are. I'll give my left lung to prove that.
See, so I'm like I said, I'm finding stuff, and this one person commissioned I guess a cat girl, but we usually call him Floof, Floof.
Yeah, gotta let a cat grow. Huh?
And so she wanted a kind of Castlevania Belmont type character. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Yep. So, like, I think people can see that screen.
Oh.
All your females are gorgeous, man. Like they're so gorgeous.
Thank you.
Just like I think after you do Rochelle and Vivian, I think Holly will be next. The adult Holly and the younger Holly.
Cool.
Since Danku the artist refused to draw it for me the way I wanted it to. I wanted that Captain Marvel vibe, but he refused to do it. I don't know why, so I'm gonna let you do it.
All right, cool.
My man. That's my man right there. All these beautiful, wonderful people. Ninja, he's a damn fine artist. Mior. P.S. Meltzer, you know, that's a wrestling god right there. Not like JBL, he's a wrestling god when it comes to knowledge. Of course, we got T.O., one of the greatest managers of all time. We got Slick Jimmy, who's our personal manager for our personal stable right here on Crypto Comics / Testosterone Overload.
All right, then.
Yeah, our manager, Slick Jimmy, man. He just comes out there in his little gangster hat, his little gangster suit, wearing red and black. Then we got our pastor, also known as Edwin Ninja, who prays for us every time we go out there to commit a crime.
It's true. I'll pray for all of your souls, that you'll come to know the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my goodness. That Dwayne The Rock Johnson's looking good, though. I like that.
Oh, thanks.
That Hart Foundation's looking good, but of course, you always got to vote Daniel Vega.
Hell yeah.
Is that Rock and Mankind?
Yeah, Rock and Mankind.
The Rock and Sock Connection.
Slick Jimmy, what's everybody in the chat doing? What they talk about in the chat, Slick Jimmy?
I'll have to go over there. Give me a minute.
Oh, yes. Let's see what the beautiful people are talking about.
Wonderful world. Beautiful.
Probably talking about how amazing the Road Warriors have been. I do miss Hawk so much, though.
That's
those
what
Road
they're
Warriors
talking
are
about. All right. What are they talking about?
You know, I only got to see him one time, and that was Heidenreich, but seeing Animal was pretty awesome.
We got Niobe, and we got Good Dog, and Dreaded's in there messing around while he's drawing. He's double duty there.
Good dog.
Niobe says, "Oh my God, there you go. There you got Joey, whatever that means." And yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, everybody too. Also check out Niobe Comics. His name is LP, real good dude. His comics Niobe about a pop star superhero. That's on Kickstarter. Beautiful work. Make sure you check out Niobe too. You will not regret it. It's not like a Little Girl Lethal that's got all that sexy action, but Niobe is a pop star, manga style, beautiful, easy on the eyes. You know, hard on crime. Love it.
I am going to say we have 18 minutes left, gentlemen. 18 minutes.
18 with a
Ladies
bullet.
and gentlemen, our gracious host, Testosterone Overload.
Well, I mean, I'm also having my. I'm also gonna put an Indiegogo for my own comic, and I plugged it before, so I'll plug it again. And so right now, what I'm actually doing, I think I mentioned before, with some advice from Mullen and a few others. So I'm redoing quite a few of the pages and updating some stuff here and there, and so I moved the page DPS to 600 DPS. So hopefully it's a little bit clearer when it gets printed out. There's not and some details not lost. I'm looking into a colorist, but I don't think I have the money to pay for one. So as it is, I'm gonna try and see about being at WonderCon. I will definitely be at Comic-Con this year. And
nice.
So right now it's just getting all the pages redone.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was the original page. And then I just kind of started putting everything back where it should be with new designs and so on and so forth. So hopefully I'll have it all done pretty soon, and then I need to do dialogue, which is I'm gonna get a client who also does all the writing for one of his comics, and I do the work for it. We're gonna be putting out another Kickstarter for that, and so I'll be working on 2 comics this year, my own and a client. But he might be helping me with the dialogue for this comic. So I guess I need to work on my mic presence, because I'm not good with talking stuff, and so
Doing all right.
And basically the all of it is completed. I'm just going back and fixing some things here and there. Maybe change up some stuff here and there. I mean, like, give it like an extra 3 hours of loving, I guess, and make these pages so much better. Especially like this one here that I cut off the head, the back of the head on this guy on page 9 or page 8, as it would be. Yeah. So it should be February or March when I put it up. And I hope to have it done by August, September. And then well, it's gonna be done, but I hope to have it shipped out by August, September. At least I think that's a reasonable timetable for March. Yes, I think. I think. Because I'm trying not to goof and give a date a month, and then it turns out I have to push it back 2-3 months down the line, and so I don't want to be too premature about it.
What stage are you at? What stage are you at with the comic?
Actually, corrections.
Corrections? Okay.
Corrections, and then I need dialogue. The thing is that I'm not a great colorist, and I'm not a colorist, and I don't have the money to afford one.
Right, yeah.
You know.
Maybe you should do an Indiegogo to raise the money to afford one. Ninja here's available.
Yeah.
He's the colorist on Sporkman.
Nice.
It's true. I am the colorist on Sporkman, but I might not. I don't know if I'm going to be available. I got a lot of comics to draw.
Because like this page 18 or this page 17, I guess, I definitely need to fix it because the head is doesn't fit the body of those animal. And I'm like, ah. So Marlon had some fun with that. So he's like, hey, this looks actually kind of off. I'm like, yeah, I got to fix that now. And so it's basically like it's an issue, like an issue 0, I guess you may want to put it that way. Because the idea is, because I'm really not sure if anybody's going to really like a fantasy story, because it's basically a fantasy story, and I really don't know how those have worked out as far as a graphic novel is concerned. I guess I need to do more research, but and then because the idea would be is like, okay, they like 21 page, then I'm going to expand it to 150 pages and try to get it, try to get that ready for like the next year and so on and so forth. So that's my idea, and so I wanted to see how that would go.
Well, I mean, as far as fantasy stories, I mean, look at what's hot in manga right now. I mean, you got Goblin Slayer that's hot. You got what's that thing called
Shield Hero.
Shield Hero.
Yeah, you got that's fantasy. That's doing good. You got Overlord. That's fantasy. That's like D&D based. That's doing real good too. You know, so I mean,
I got Overlord actually. I've seen Goblin Slayer and I've been keeping up with Goblin Slayer. Even the year one side story they've been doing.
exactly. So you should do phenomenal with fantasy stories. I mean, well, all the fantasy stories is doing good right now.
Yeah, it also happens to be they're pissing off the always offended people.
Well, that's what we're here to do. We're here to offend people. The only people that's going to be offended is them damn SJWs who want to give it all to sexy women like Carissa from Blue Mamba and Sugar Lightspeed and all my females I created and Niobe. You know, only people going to be mad at these damn SJWs. Screw them all.
I'm surprised they haven't come attack me yet, considering the all my work is cheesecake artwork.
Well, dude, if they come for you, they're coming for all of us. We're going to band together and show them what for, because you know what, we stand for hot women here.
No, I mean because I also have let me find it.
Exactly.
There's some other stuff and then some actual superhero stuff as well. Let me find it because I suck in keeping all this stuff in order.
I don't care what these people say. They want all these females in comic books like Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was cute back in the day, but I'm sorry. I like my female characters like Wonder Woman, or at least shaped like.
See, because I have this character. Right now I'm calling her Champ because I'm not good at at names and titles.
What's the name?
The Champ. The Champ. You know, Champ. You know, like
the Champ. The Champ.
The Champ. The Champ.
That's nice.
So the idea is that she's kind of pretty much my Superman area character.
Cool.
And so she starts out as a kind of she's a featherweight champion in a MMA type type thing. And so she already starts out as a positive person, positive character. You know, she's winning titles here and there and doing stuff. Being herself. And then her powers come in the middle of a match, and she's like, "Oh, wait!" You know, and so it's going from it just goes from there. The idea is that her and her sister kind of form a team. So she's all the physical brawn, and her sister, half sister, is all the brains. So the idea was just to present something fun, and then. So it's her half sister, and they were gonna just have superhero fun. I think one of the other things I wanted to do was to kind of explore some of the science stuff without beating people over the head with it. Like,
gentlemen,
hey,
I have to inform you that you have 9 minutes remaining. 9 minutes.
My beautiful artist Daniel Vega. I make a small suggestion because that's looking at her. You know what I would do? I would make like a Brock Lesnar type superhero story, like what you said with the manager and everything. How like the manager's the brains and she's the brawn. Cause I see her as like a female Brock Lesnar type character, like a wrestling fictional comic book of sorts, on the vein of like Rumble Roses.
Nah. Like I said, the idea was and this is the half sister right here. And the idea was is basically she's it's kind of like taking the Trinity that exists in DC and kind of apply it here. So the idea is that when it comes to the Champ, she's supposed to be that icon for hope for something better in the future. There's another character that would be the representative for Batman is, but in a much more positive light instead of being a psycho asshole about it. I was off act, and then the other day, it kind of hit me thanks to a client. She was talking about muses, and I'm like, that's it, a muse. That will be the person that will fit the Trinity. So it will be truth, hope, and justice, in that kind of Trinity thing. I mean, I'm not, but not the exact words, but just to kind of give myself an idea of how I should structure all these characters, because the idea is for them to be positive characters, so that not to be like Marvel DC where they're just kind of badgering people, telling you, "Oh, you're an absolute shit because you're an absolutely bad person because this reason or that reason." No. These characters should promote, a positive image, a positive attitude, a positive kind of path.
So, what is your character there? What's your power set? The one that's breaking out the chains. Is she just a strong woman like Superman, or what she got? Flight? What does she do?
The idea is that she's about I want to say she's about as physically powerful as post crisis Superman. But like him, she has some hard restrictions. Like she can't breathe in space.
She can't what?
She can't breathe in space like everybody else. No oxygen, no fight.
Okay.
She produces a kind of a Green Lantern type ability to where it's kind of, it can be used either as a hard projectile, kind of similar to how how Cyclops has its optic vision and he can bounce it off of things and so on and so forth. Somebody lost their welcome privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So what's her origin of her power?
The idea is that her dad, their dad, because they're half sisters, their dad is here from Earth, but Star, that's her name, Starr, literally Star. Her mom is a alien from outer space, and the half sister is here from Earth. So it's technically two sisters that represent two different worlds. And I'm still working on it, but the idea is that the sister, that the one that breaks the chains is literally like a test tube baby, and so they just grow up as sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And she has no idea about any of this up until her powers manifest.
So, what you said she does like a laser or like a beam out of her eyes, or what? Does she do that?
It's here. Let me open it up again. And because I also just noticed a problem was the.
No, I'm just trying to see if I can help you come up with a better name than Champion.
Yeah. All right.
How about
gentlemen? You have 5 minutes.
How about her name's Star, right?
Yeah, Star.
How about Star Blaze?
That actually sounds good.
How about Starfall?
Starfall? Starburst?
How about Starfire?
Star. I think Starburst taken.
So much trouble was DC.
How about Raven?
Nah.
Well, you could do Sunblaze. Sunblaze would be something they could do something like that.
I mean, sun is a star.
Yeah. Well, because the idea is she's she takes all his power from the sun. I think my idea was that originally she was supposed to be able to draw in from positive matter.
Mm.
And so she would have a limitless source, and I think I need to find something a little less limitless. So I'm trying to figure out how to power that. But I might just go back to solar energy just because it's easier to rationalize than like to say, oh, she's taking all her power from this thing, but this thing is endless, and so we have no idea how to stop it.
Right.
And then because I guess you would be able to take antimatter and hit her with it, but there would need to be a need for antimatter to begin with.
Yeah.
And then
well, could she get her powers from, say, cosmic energy, or
maybe some kind of maybe not. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe not a direct source of it.
How about she gets her powers from like like an under universe of like a hyperspace universe where she's drawing from there. Just trying to think up ideas.
Well, if we go with the idea that the alien was actually a celestial of some sort or some kind of cosmic energy, right? We could do that because she's human. She's part human. She's not actually absorbing all that energy. It's kind of like a Star-Lord. He's the cinematic version of Star-Lord, not the current version.
Right. Yeah.
And then so she's taking energy from. She's taking in half that energy, so she's not. So while she's invincible to many mortal or earthly bound villains, when it comes to those in outer space and so on and so forth, she's kind of farther down the totem pole. So that way, she's powerful, but she's not too OP. Right. Because the idea with the sister was kind of a Reed Richards type character, so she's inventing ways to help her beat many of her villains. Because Star is a professional fighter, but she's not gonna sit there and be able to overcome things that are that a super genius is gonna figure out and use against her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously she can punch her way out, but not every villain trap is going to be something.
Gentlemen, you have 60 seconds remaining.
60 seconds.
Yeah, 60 seconds. Well, I can't shout like Jason Statham, but you have 60 seconds. And then and that was the idea. Was her. Another character I have is kind of a Shazam type character, and the idea is a space cop. But the idea is that she can summon guns, just different types of guns, and that was the idea. And so, like, say if you want to make a gun that uses bubblegum, she can make that. Or if she wants to make a gun that shoots popcorn, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the idea, is that she would, the type of gun she can make is only limited to her imagination.
So she can make a gun that shoots cats?
It'll shoot cats. So
that'd be cool.
It'll be funny, but I'm not gonna do it. But I mean, like I said, within limitations and within the limitations of her imagination. So again, you have to remember she's a teenager, so she's not gonna think of crude weapons and so on and so forth. She's just gonna find she's gonna think of let's use bubblegum, because bubblegum is this shit takes forever to get out of my hair and so on and so forth when it happens. This dude was actually heavy.
Or poop gun.
Okay, gentlemen, the time has come to share your artwork.
It's time.
Muir has dropped out briefly. I saw that coming. I was having some issues screen sharing his. So I have a feeling he'll be back any moment.
It's Vader time.
It is Vader time. It's time. So I have put the straw poll into the chat. I'm going to click it again just to make sure that it's working. Oh, it's working wonderful. So first up, we have your friendly neighborhood ninja with the Road Warriors. That's Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal. If you want, you can call them the Legion of Doom. Next to them, with a very bold choice, is Daniel Vega from the Tech Corner. With a very minimalistic approach to the Bella twins, Nikki and Bree. Bella. One of them is available, ladies. I mean, gentlemen. Get a little tired. Or the ladies.
Depending on who's here.
Up next is a drawing that is very pixelated by P.S. Melter.
Let me see if I can fix it then.
You might want to fix it.
Fix this now.
Sharpen that bitch up.
It is the Dudley Boys, and look, you see Bubba Ray power bombing little Spike Dudley through a table. As Sign Guy stands at ringside and Devon proudly watches on. It's very pixelated. It's moving it around, making it more pixelated.
All right.
He does not want to win this competition.
I'll just leave it there. Maybe it's better.
You might
now.
want to back your camera off by about 7 inches.
Yeah, because I can only see like maybe part of it.
My lord. This is
doing the Macho Man.
We'll come back to Melter when he gets his ish together. Jiminy Cricket with a stunning rock and sock connection. Very bold.
Both for the rock and sock connection.
Very talented man. He's a very talented man indeed. The Rock says, vote Jiminy Cricket.
Vote Jiminy Cricket.
We have the dreaded Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Who is most well known here for his incredible artwork in the Roddy Piper, The Kilted Avenger comic book, coming out later this year. It is James Eric Hodson, the dreaded Dinosaur, who has drawn Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret the Hitman Hart, the Hart Foundation. Now we have one other person, and that is Muir. Muir is from Malaysia, where they have really crappy internet. And he was drawing an absolutely impeccable Gold Dust and Stardust. And I really loved it, and I really wish we could see it right now. And so I'm hoping that he is in the chat. Yes, he is in the chat, and he says, F my crap machine. And I am going to tell him to send a screenshot to Ninja. And I hate to have everyone vote without seeing Muir's, because Muir's was stunning and you do not want to miss it.
Just your Comics Gate secretary over here.
You are indeed CG Secretary of the Year. We're gonna really honor you on National Secretary Day. They still celebrate that, or is that considered sexist now?
Probably, but everything is sexist now. So
it's personal assistant day now, probably.
Oh, I think they've changed it to Administrative Professionals Day.
Yeah, there you go.
Coming up April 24th. It was originally National Secretary's Day, but apparently men are not allowed to be secretaries because women are sexist. But I'm going to scroll through them again as we wait for Muir to return, because we do need Muir's artwork before I can count the votes. It would not be good to not have Muir's incredible Gold Dust and Stardust artwork. Ninja is not sharing because he has to do some things, so I will go backwards through them again. This is the dreaded Dinosaurs Hart Foundation. Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. He chose to not draw the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, with them. I noticed that. And he had plenty of time to, so maybe that will cost him some points. I don't know. We have Jiminy Cricket's Rock and Sock connection. So I know that the millions and the millions of the Rock's fans are going to be excited to vote for this. And I know that the dozens and the dozens of Mankind's fans are also going to be excited to vote for this. Looks great. Very talented.
Well, Muir's restarting his computer.
We will wait for Muir. Devon, Dudley, Bubba Ray, Little Spike, and Sign Guy Dudley. The Dudley Boys. Now, I've noticed that P.S. Melter, in drawing the Dudley Boys, has chosen to not include Joel, I shoot a whole condom filla, and it tastes like vanilla, Gertner.
Gotta love Joel.
I love Joel Gertner. He was the greatest announcer in wrestling history. You can even tell Howard Finkel I said so.
I think he did he's done so many good ones. Like I think when they brought him for TNA, he did made a Kardashian joke. I just can't remember what it was for the Hard Justice. It was great.
Here we have Daniel Vega from the Tech Corners. Bella Twins. A bold choice, not a tag team, but definitely a team nonetheless. And one of the most popular teams there has been in the 21st century.
Vote Vega. Vote twice, vote often.
John Wallace hedging his bets. Your friendly neighborhood ninja with the Road Warriors, Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, the Legion of Doom.
Aloha.
With the totally awesome variant blue shoulder pads, which I absolutely love. It looks so awesome. And I'm going to be honest,
you don't get to see those much unless you go back in time.
I'm having trouble making a decision on who to vote for, and I'm not going to vote until I get to see Mior's again. Because his Stardust and Goldust was really, really looking awesome. There he is. Mior has joined us.
Yay!
All right.
He is well loved.
We love Mior.
He is. He is well
love
loved throughout the independent comics community.
We love our Mior.
Look at that. Very startling. Very startling.
I swear to God, I'm going to take a hammer to this stupid machine if I could afford it.
He's so poor he cannot buy a hammer. Oh, no, he's so poor that he cannot buy any machine. It's okay, though.
Oh, God, thank God for smartphone.
He actually has to draw this on an old tube television screen that's just turned off. Then he takes a picture and shares it with us.
It looks like what would be on a T-shirt almost for WWE.
It really does. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say that if WWE sees this stream, I am willing to guess that they would steal this. Like they have stolen another artist's artwork and put it on a T-shirt and sold it and never paid him for his art.
Sounds about right.
A true thing that has happened.
Who that?
Yeah. Let him.
It's a gentleman named Gary Yap. He used to work for. He used to do some work for DC. He's very talented. He two-time Emmy nominee Gary Yap, storyboard supervisor on Simpsons and King of the Hill.
Oh,
and
they stole his work.
Bro, he drew a picture of CM Punk, who's a pretty popular wrestler, a few years back. Because CM Punk was talking about how he wanted his own ice cream bar. Like when I was a little kid, they had WWF ice cream bars, and it would have like Hulk Hogan on it and the Ultimate Warrior on it and the Boss Man on it. And so Gary just, for fun, drew a picture of an ice cream bar with CM Punk on it. And he sent it to someone who will remain nameless, who worked at WWE. And like 2 weeks later, this fucking T-shirt comes out with the CM Punk ice cream bar on it. And they had one of their in-house artists just redraw it, and then they put it out there. So the link is in the chat. If you see the strawpoll.com/KKPFRP2F, all you have to do is click on that. Don't worry, it's free. This doesn't cost you anything. You don't even have to sign up. You get to vote absolutely free for which of these pieces of art of some legendary wrestling teams is your favorite. I will also drop it here in our group chat inside our little hangout. Everyone can vote
for the Rock and Sock Connection.
I'm gonna go through them again here. We have your friendly neighborhood ninjas, the Road Warriors, Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, the Legion of Doom. We have Daniel Vega from the Tech Corners, Bella Twins. Bree and Nikki Bella. We have PS Melters, Dudley Boys. It's Bubba Ray and Devon throwing Spike, little Spike Dudley, LSD, through a flaming table. I really like your sign guy, Dudley, dude. It is really just, it looks like him.
Thanks.
Our main man in Malaysia, the mighty Mior, with a very, very stunning Gold Dust and Stardust.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gold Dust.
Crap! I should have gave Devon a Get Twins teeth.
Jiminy Cricket has drawn a very, very photorealistic rock and sock connection.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
That is
Dreaded
awesome.
Dinosaur.
Hey, gum, Jiminy.
Hey,
The man
how you doing?
behind the Roddy Piper comic, Roddy Piper, The Kilted Adventure, has drawn this beautiful piece of art featuring Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yeah.
They are two-time
Cool.
WWF Tag Team Champions.
Very cool.
The Hart Foundation.
That's awesome.
If you
Thank
have
you.
not voted, now is the time to vote. I am having a lot of trouble deciding on what I want to vote for because I think they're all really good, and I wish I had all the phones that Sketch Therapy has because I would vote for everyone twice.
Oh God. Oh.
Now, your friendly neighborhood ninja who has drawn the Road Warriors, he is our reigning champion. He won last week by drawing Hulk Hogan as the Suburban Commando. Brilliant move. A brilliant move. Will choosing the blue shoulder pads. Will that push him over the edge and make him a two-time champion? Will it be the Tech Corner with the Bella Twins? Will it be P.S. Melter with the Dudley Boys? Will it be Mior with Gold Dust and Stardust? Will it be Jiminy Cricket with Mankind and the Rock and Sock Connection? Will it be the Dreaded Dinosaur with the Hart Foundation? Whew, this is tough. This is really hard. I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote. Oh, who do I vote for? It's so hard. Now, if the artists have not voted, I would like to see the artists vote.
I actually haven't voted because I didn't think I was.
We must have everyone vote. If you have not voted in the chat, all you have to do is click that link that says straw poll, and you are going to be able to vote. It doesn't cost money. You don't even have to sign up. You just get to vote. It's very easy. It's very simple. It's actually the simplest thing on the internet, in my humble opinion. We need you to vote. We are going to close the straw poll soon. If you do not vote, you will never ever have an opportunity to vote again. This is your last chance to vote for one of these absolutely amazing pieces of art. I will go through them one last time. Your friendly neighborhood ninja with the Road Warriors. The Tech Corner, Daniel Vega with the Bella Twins.
Door of the church is open. Vote, people. Vote. Come on,
P.S.
come on.
Melter with the Dudleys.
Won't you come? Won't you come, people?
Muir, our main man in Malaysia, with Gold Dust and Stardust. Jiminy Cricket, with the Rock and Sock Connection. The Dreaded Dinosaur, with the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
This is your last chance to vote. If you have not voted, you are going to miss out forever. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds to vote. All you have to do is click strawpoll.com right there in the chat, and you will be able to vote. If you have not voted, this is your last chance to vote. I am going to tally the votes in just a few moments. Please vote. It is very important that you vote. My last time going through them. Your friendly neighborhood ninja with the Road Warriors. The Tech Corner with the Bella Twins. P.S. Melter with the Dudley Boys. Muir with Stardust and Gold Dust. Jiminy Cricket with the Rock and Sock Connection. The Dreaded Dinosaur with the Hart Foundation. I'm going to let you have 10 seconds. 10. You must vote. This is the last chance. Just click the straw poll. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. If you have not voted, you are missing out on another wonderful installment of Drawing Blood. I am now going to tally the votes. And we are going to find out who the winner is. It tallies the votes for me, so I don't really have to do anything. It's very simple. I just read them aloud. With one vote and the recipient of a participation ribbon.
Jeez.
The Tech Corner
Ouch.
with the Bella Twins.
I gave you that one vote, sir.
So thank you.
Jesus Christ, no, man. Come on.
I had to write out that ribbon by hand.
With a bronze medal, we have a tie for third place.
Oh.
The bronze medal goes to both P.S. Dudley and Muir Dust. With a silver medal, we have another tie. The silver medal goes to both the Dreaded Hart Foundation and Road Warrior Ninja. And the winner of the third installment of Drawing Blood and your new heavyweight champion of the world, Jiminy Cricket with the Rock and Sock Connection.
Yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well,
Very
I don't
exciting.
mind handing the belt over to somebody with this much talent.
You know what? I can see right now, I can imagine that Good Dog Press, Manny right now, he's shaking in his boots right now, looking at this Rock and Sock Connection. He's thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to beat him? I can't possibly beat Jiminy Cricket. What am I going to do?
All he has to do is draw a skunk. He'll win.
That's right.
So, but thanks. It's a lot of fun. This is a great competition. You guys are really good artists.
Make sure you link the Rock when you put that up, man.
I'm sorry.
You should definitely link McFoley.
Yeah,
and
make
the
sure
Rock
you
and
tag
Roll.
him in.
McFoley and the Rock.
Oh, yeah.
You may get a response from McFoley. He's always on social media.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I definitely will when I scan it in. So, thank you.
Well, gentlemen, I love them all. Like, you guys, this was great. This is great. I grew up with all this stuff. It's super fun to see.
Yeah, and I learned a lot about wrestling tonight.
Did
Definitely.
you? What was the most interesting thing you learned?
Just a lot of stuff you were telling me about your history with, I guess, was it the Hart brothers?
Sure.
The
Yeah.
Hart family. I mean, I found it very interesting. I think I mentioned the main information I have about wrestling is with the ones who really broke into pop culture, like The Rock and like Stone Cold Steve Austin, those guys. But a lot of the more obscure ones, for I guess most I guess muggles, people who aren't into wrestling that much. I mean, I found that very interesting. So the whole scene in Portland and stuff. I mean, that's stuff I never even knew about. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure just to hang out with all you guys, and see your talents at work. You guys are all phenomenal talents. And
Mr. Vegas still a winner in my book. Don't matter.
Oh yeah, John Wallace.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, okay, you can say that, right? Yeah.
I have to, man. He's still winning.
I suppose you think old boy won the boxing match last night too. The hood knows he
I
won.
don't watch boxing.
Okay, you missed out on all that then.
Yeah, the
Big
thing
time.
is, my thing is baseball, but
Okay.
and drawing. But no, I mean it's I used to watch wrestling as a kid, and so that was one of those things I watched with my uncle, and because he was into it, and then, but it's been a long time since I've watched wrestling, so I have no idea what's going on in wrestling anymore.
I honestly don't either. Every time I tune it on, I end up seeing like one good segment, and then the next two segments are so bad that I just like I gotta turn this off. I don't have enough life left to watch this for 2 hours. Well, I want to give everyone an opportunity to plug what they're working on. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with our champion here tonight.
Oh.
The one and only Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, I guess I would like to ask everyone to please check out my YouTube channel. It's the name of it is Illustration by Design, which is 3 separate words. Just type it into the search and it should pop up. And you can also follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/illustration by design, one phrase. So I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube. Once I do, I will give away a free illustration of the character of your choice to one of the subscribers. So please subscribe to my channel, Illustration by Design on YouTube, and check out, I do a lot of live stream drawings. Yesterday I did one of Prince. I do it of different, famous people and also superhero characters. So, check me out. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Up next, I'm going to choose our winner of the participation ribbon.
He's gonna keep low blowing me there, huh?
Yes. Daniel from the Tech Corner.
My name is. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, my name.
We're used to kids who get participation ribbons needing time.
Oh man, I've always hated those damn things. I've always hated those damn things. I've never liked them.
Everybody gets a trophy.
It's either you win or you lose. Damn it. I will be having an Indiegogo here soon, possibly in February. It'll be called Shutter Crowns: The Tales of the Seven. I also have a YouTube channel. It's the Tech Corner. I have a couple of videos up. If you can go on over, subscribe, and take a look. Like and subscribe, and so on and so forth. And also, any comments, and criticism is always welcome. I'm gonna try to have the third part of a speed drawing that I was doing up soon, and I will be trying to upload some more. And I'm also on Twitter and yeah. Well, I was on Tumblr, but Tumblr went down. I'm on Newgrounds as well. I just need to go back.
Okay. Let's wrap it up here. You're the participation winner.
Oh, okay. Thanks, guys.
Our man in Malaysia, the international comic skater, Mior.
Yes, I'm currently working on a web comic titled The Broken and the Damned, which you can find on Tapas. You can just go to the website and search the name, and it will come up. I am also available on Twitter under the name Munir Mior, and you can find me. And I am also open for commission. So if you're interested in hiring me, you can just DM me on Twitter. And I would draw just about anything. And I guess that is about it from
All
me.
right. P.S. Melter.
I'm always looking for commission work, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, Tech Corner's also looking for commission work.
I need 920 to make my my bills, the rest of my bills.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
It's all good. P.S. Melter.
All right. Well, you can find me P.S. Melter on Twitter and here on YouTube as well every week with Testosterone Overload doing this fine show we call Drawing Blood.
Now on Sundays.
I
think that's a good idea.
Sunday.
Up next, who will I pick? I'm going to pick your friendly neighborhood ninja.
Well, as has been stated, I am your friendly neighborhood ninja, and you can find me on YouTube, where we have fun and do silly streams. Also, you can find me on Twitter at your ninja friend. And I am also open for commissions. If you enjoy fun art, I can do something up for you in a fairly timely manner for the most part. Also, I will be the colorist for Sporkman Goes to Japan. And you guys can find Sporkman comics on Comixology and also Indie Planet. Also, I've got a comic coming out with Doug Garrett, the creator of Lone Wolf, called Psychotron, about a World War III decommissioned super soldier cyborg that basically is working to keep himself operational at this point. And also be on the lookout for Science Wizard Comics, run by Josh the Amazing Animator, going to be bringing comics that are out of this world to your door. All right, thank you guys. And I really do appreciate all of the excellent talent that is here tonight. Congratulations to our winner, Jiminy, again. Fantastic piece of art. In fact, all of these I wouldn't mind having posters of. These are great pieces. Thank you guys. Much
okay,
love.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James, Eric Hodson, the Dreaded Dinosaur, the
Yes,
maker
that
of
is-
the Roddy Piper, Kilted Avenger comic.
That is me. Roddy Piper comic is well underway. I am not currently taking commissions because I am swamped with work. I've got a couple other side projects in the works too. I also have a web comic on Webtoon called Dreaded Dinosaur Man. And you can find me on all the social medias under @Dreaded Dinosaur, including YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And I just posted on Twitter a high-res JPEG of the Hart Foundation. You guys can go grab that and download it and do whatever you want with it.
Beautiful. And you're a very talented man. And I think you have a lot of success coming in the future in comic books.
Working hard every day.
I just want to show off some other Jiminy Cricket artwork since he is the winner here. Look at that amazing piece of art there. That is fantastic. Look at those tits. Those are great. Up next, speaking of tits, it is Slick Jimmy Love Muffin from Little Girl Lethal. He didn't draw anything. He's not an artist. He's like me. He's just here to talk and have fun. But we're still going to let him plug his amazing book because he has purchased an artist. He's purchased the soul of an artist from Russia named Whiskey Paint. And he has Whiskey Paint locked in a basement somewhere deep in Siberia, working very hard on Little Girl Lethal. So plug your book, Jimmy.
Thank you, Matthew. Yes, I'm
welcome.
Slick Jimmy. And I do have a comic currently on Indiegogo in demand. It's about a girl named Sugar Lightspeed, the titular Little Girl Lethal. She lives in a alternate universe, very much like ours, but in many ways very different. It's a hyper-real universe full of great highs and vast lows. You come there, you're going to be in for a sexy time, a violent time, and a good time. So come on out and get some sugar on Indiegogo. You can find me on Slick Jimmy Speaks on YouTube and Slick Jimmy Love on the Twitter. So there you go. Have a great day.
Up next, a man who loves professional wrestling just as much as he loves comics. The extremely talented, another writer who's a very talented writer. His name isn't Niobe, but his comic book is definitely called Niobe. And I'm just going to let him have the floor for a moment.
Well, sorry I missed half the show, guys. But me and my buddy, we listened in to quite a bit of it there. Awesome drawings. I had to vote for Tech, though, because, I'm a sucker for the Bellas. But that Rock Sock connection, Jimmy, I mean, they're all cool, man. And the Hart Foundation, I'm a big Hart Foundation guy for that earlier on in the show, so you got to love that, man. It was really cool to see this. But, yeah, I'm LP. I got 2 YouTube channels. One is called Rebel Gaming, where I do a lot of WWE 2K19 live streams. So if you like wrestling, check it out. Niobe Comic is my comic book channel where I talk comic books and, update people on what I'm doing. And then, you can just follow me on Niobe Comic on all the social medias and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And Avani comes out February, and our next Niobe is in May.
Last but certainly not least, another wonderful wrestling fan, not an artist, but also a writer, who has a book coming out soon. It is General John Wallace.
I love you guys. It's always good to be here. My project is, of course, the Grand Crusade. A little spin on supernatural and mythological creatures. A lot of heaven and hell stuff going on. A lot of God versus the devil, but with a twist. Not throwing religion in anybody's face. Just trying to have a good time with what I know. Right now, I am currently only on the Twitters under @John N. Wallace 28. And I will be back on YouTube soon enough, where I'm going to be doing playthroughs on the PS4 when I get that back in my hands. But other than that, all around nice guy, love with beautiful women, nice stories, and friends of the community. And love all these guys on the panel.
Hey,
we love
All
you
right.
too, John.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you gentlemen once again. For anyone still listening out there, please like this video. Please subscribe here at Testosterone Overload if you love professional wrestling. If you love comic books more than you love professional wrestling, go to Crypto Comics. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat right now. And please subscribe. There are over 100 videos uploaded over there, and it hasn't even been live for 90 days. And I just try to make something new every day for the beautiful people out there in Webtown, to entertain them and enlighten them, or get them thinking, or get them enraged, whatever I'm feeling that day. I'm just, sometimes I'm like Cesar Romero is the Joker in the old Batman TV show. Other times I'm like Heath Ledger is the Joker. You never really know what's going to happen at Crypto Comics. So I would recommend checking it out, because as all these independent creators connect more and more, it's important for them to, have as many places as they can to talk about what they're working on, because that's how we're going to make great content that's not owned by giant devil-worshipping conglomerates. So please like all these guys' YouTube channels, please, but most of all, like mine, Crypto Comics and Testosterone, most of all mine. And that's it. So I'm just going to turn it over to our spiritual leader here, and he's going to just close us out here. So I'm gonna leave it to you, Edwin Ninjet. Take it away.
All right. Now, I just want to make sure you guys know, to be the best person that you can be, show love to one another. And in Jesus' name, we pray.
Holy fuck, I really thought I was your
for tuning in.
Don't interrupt the blessing, Niobe. I realize Canadians don't go to church, but you got to.
Bunch of fucking snow monkey heathens.
Go ahead, Edwin Ninja.
Jesus still loves you. Don't worry. You're within our hearts. All right, Niobe? We still love you.
Oh, man.
You didn't say amen. You got to say amen. Oh, sorry. I apologize.
Amen.
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 Amen. Amen.